Hey everybody, Scott Holden here. Before we get started with the show, I just want to take a minute to tell you where you can find us out on the interwebs. That's right. First, you can find us at ThatMan on FatMan.com. That's right, ThatMan on FatMan.com. It's the central hub and the place where you can find links to all the other stuff I'm about to tell you about. So we're on Twitter. You can find us there at ThatMan on FatMan. We are also on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, so it's facebook.com/ThatMan on FatMan. We're also on YouTube. On YouTube, you can find us at youtube.com/ThatMan on FatMan podcast. We are also on Instagram, where we're ThatMan at ThatMan on FatMan. And I believe we're even on, Snapchat as ThatMan on FatMan. So you can pretty much find us on ThatMan on FatMan everywhere on the internet. Please friend us. Also, if you're an iTunes subscriber, please go and give us a review. It's very helpful. It's one of the best things you can do for any show that you enjoy. So leave us a review on iTunes. If you listen on Stitcher, we're also there. We're also on SoundCloud. So check those out, and we appreciate it. And now, we hope you enjoy the show.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on FatMan is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The host used mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So yes, you absolutely did the right thing. I know it's kind of gross for me to be like, yes, doing a Kevin Smith podcast was fucking smart. Yeah. But I do feel like it was smart. I appreciate it. I think you were right to do that.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
What are we going to do about the pancake master?
We need a costumed vigilante is what we need. Justice can't be served unless it's being fought outside the system.
Here's what we're going to do, eh?
Oh, shit. It's ThatMan. Who is he? He's ThatMan. He's talking. What should we do?
Oh, there he goes by in the Thatmobile.
The what? Thatmobile, his car. Go get him, ThatMan.
Well, once upon a time, a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit, written by old Kev Smith. Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts. Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around. So I created a new show with one heck of a plan, and I'd call that show ThatMan on FatMan, because we're going to chat about Kevin Smith. That's right, let's talk about old Kev Smith. Hey everybody, and welcome to this Season 3-1, or Year 3, whatever, Annual 3. Nah, we'll say Season 3, what the fuck, we'll give in. Season 3 of ThatMan on FatMan. Welcome. My name is Scott Holden. I'm sitting in the pilot's chair, and here in the co-pilot seat is none other than co-host extraordinaire and producer Gene Holden.
Hi, guys.
And boy, lots of stuff to catch up on.
Yeah.
let's start out with some big news, and that's a friend of the show, the NYC Podfest, announced their lineup, and we were so disappointed because we did not make it in. So we were like bummed. But to that end, a lot of good stuff happened with that show.
Right.
First of all, our friends over at Where's Larry?
Where's Larry made it in?
Yes, they're sort of
Very
like in the
cool.
slot that we were in last year.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of it's about, kind of putting new, like brand new shows into, so giving them a chance,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Also, they managed to bag Tesdy. Tell him Steve Dave.
Steve Dave's going to be there.
Will be in the fest. Also, there's like a big opening night. Tesdy's on the is like 11 p.m. Mm-hmm. Of the 3 shows, I think, or 4? Is it 3
There's
or 4?
3. Guys We Fucked is 7. Risk is at 9.
Yep.
And Tell him Steve Dave's
So of the
at
3
11.
headlining shows, we've filmed 2 of them.
2. We've
Two
filmed for the
already
movie,
in the movie.
for What's a Podcast.
Yeah. And the other one is a cool show.
That we love.
Yeah. Who else is in the Podfest that we... Where's
Keith
Larry?
and the girl are in.
Keith and the girl.
I really didn't see a whole bunch of them because
The
I
Flophouse
haven't
are in,
seen-
though.
The Flophouse is there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what time, but you can check out nycpodfest.com and it's all there. I'm not
Speaking
sure.
of the Flophouse, I do want to get this out on record. I felt this is important because
Okay.
everyone's going to call me on my shit later if I don't say it now. And it's something that's been going on for at least several weeks now, at least 3 or 4.
Okay.
I am turned on The Daily Show. I'm watching it again.
Wow.
And I think it's funny again. So without Jon Stewart, I know. And here's my feeling. Like at first, my biggest complaints were that the writers weren't writing for him. They were still writing for Jon Stewart.
Right.
In which case, if they were doing that, I could do it better. You know, it was
Yeah.
like, I could sit in that chair and deliver Jon Stewart jokes better than Trevor.
Right.
Because at least I have that background of a kid from Jersey and kind of have that perspective, which
Yeah.
I felt like was the perspective of all the jokes. They were still writing for Jon Stewart.
Right.
So now that they're definitely dialing into Trevor more, his personality, his sort of more outsider status. You know?
It
Because
took
he
him
really
a little
is.
bit to get into his
Yeah,
groove.
yeah, and they're doing good now.
Yeah,
so.
and he was probably very nervous.
And
probably,
they changed up the show a little bit. I mean, he stands now in the monologue
yeah,
at the beginning. But,
I like him.
Whatever. Yeah,
I think he's likable. And you know what? I think it probably was very, it was very nerve wracking for him because he was probably trying to do that, like trying to please everybody, and it's really big shoes to fill, Jon Stewart.
So
Yeah,
hats off to the writing staff.
yeah.
So
Now ThatMan is on board.
Dan McCoy,
Dan McCoy,
My-
he's the man.
I salute you, sir.
Yep,
So
he's doing a good job over there.
and actually, I've been in email talks with Dan about getting him on the show.
Oh, cool.
So later
That'd be
this
awesome.
month, I hate making promises because every time I do that, I seem to get burned.
Yeah.
But like we now have a date that we're going to do.
Oh, cool. Very good.
And it coincides with the week that we will be going to see The Daily Show live.
So that's even better.
Yeah. So
Cool.
you and I and our good friend,
Our friend.
our friend of the show. Oh, well, she's been on, Allison.
Yeah, our friend Allison.
Yes. So we're gonna go check out The Daily Show, yo.
Yep.
And in one of my emails, I'm like, if you want to make me feel like a big shot, you can come and say hi to me while I'm there.
No pressure.
The 21st, the Monday. So yeah. Now also, we got to send big shout out, props, thank yous to the Mr. BS show.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, we did that. Oh God, we did that interview. It feels like months ago.
That was so fun. They were
And-
really good.
And the show came out really well. And God, the hits were incredible, man.
My
Do they
God.
pay people?
I don't know. What the fuck do you guys do? They're like hits and
God,
likes
fucking
and
sugars and-
retweets. They got like 70 retweets.
Although they did, you know what? There's a, I don't know if you can call it a service, a ring, a brotherhood, a group called Pattern Family. It's more a hashtag.
What is that?
It's like a collective, but
like that.
it's loose. It's surrounded around a website, and you throw in the hashtag Pattern Family, and it's like the equivalent of what used to be a link share.
Oh.
But I mean, essentially, it puts you in a group. And,
Well, because there's actually a Twitter address, Podern Family.
Yes, as well. That's sort of the ring.
So
that's the ring lead.
Does that connect to it somehow? The hashtag one?
Essentially what it is, it's a way of linking everyone up. And so
I think that's a really nice idea. I keep forgetting to use it.
Yeah, I do too. It's hard to get in the habit. That's
Podern
true.
Family. Because I noticed that the IJ girls were using it.
Yeah, they're big into it. They're the ones that kind of turned me on to it. And see, with the movie and stuff, we've had our head up our own ass, doing our own thing. And
we've been
having shit like that, man.
Yeah,
and I feel like we lose connection with you out there, the listeners.
We've been we've had our head up on our ass, but we're really busy at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time, I always think of it as we're doing it for everyone out there too. So
we're doing it for all you guys.
Yeah. That's one of my bigger motivators. So yeah. All right, well, actually, let's quickly do this. Big shout out to Mr. BS Show. Also, the Podcast Digest asked us to be on. So that'll be coming up that same week, too.
That sounds very like smart.
Yes.
Like Reader's Digest.
Yes. Ooh. There is a lot of Kev news, too. And our
quite a bit.
Our guests today are very Kevin and Bob Hawke, and it's a very special way to kick off season 3. But so before we go on with the rest of the show, we have for season 3 our opener, what is a very special Smedlines that was put together by our buddy over there in Britannia. That's Mr. Indie Mac user Ben Gumry. But apparently he had
some help.
Yeah, he enlisted cohorts.
Right.
And so, without any further, it's going to be a long show.
It's a little longer than usual.
We got a long show today. It's a big
full
kickoff.
Of stuff.
Yeah, so here comes this first special Smedlines.
Hello, this is Ben from the blog Indie Mac User. And this week on the Smedlines, we have a very special report from Brit Ant at Tesdy_UK on Twitter, also known as at Dr. Squee on Twitter for the Galistro Stands podcast, who is reporting from the Tesdy Ant meetup that took place in London this weekend, as well as the Impractical Jokers live show that happened in London.
Hi, this is Dr. Squee, also known as Brit Ant, and this is a special Smedlines report from the Tell 'em Steve Dave Ant meetup and the Impractical Jokers fans who are at the Impractical Jokers Where's Larry tour live in London. It's an absolutely fantastic event. I'm not going to give away what happens in it because it's still touring and you can still get your tickets where it's going to be touring across America and coming back to the UK later in the year. So please do that. The only thing I will say is that it's an amazing show. Some stuff you might have heard before, some stuff you definitely haven't. And the way they close the show is amazing. They've got a challenge which proves that these guys will do anything for a bet or for a dare or for $300 as it turns out. So please go and see them live. But this is just a few comments and reactions from the fans who were there before the gig. So please enjoy this. And it also features a very special interview I did with Declan Quinn, the sound engineer and remasterer of the sound of Tell 'em Steve Dave. So please enjoy. I'm now here at the gathering ready for the Impractical Joker store. This is kind of the Ant gathering. So I'm here for, introduce yourselves, please.
Vicky. Gail.
Carly.
And you are from?
With Practical Podcast.
And you're actually about to be Scott's guests in next week, couple of weeks?
No, we're hoping that Scott will come to work. Yeah. That's what we're hoping.
So what event are we here to celebrate today?
So we're here at the moment for the Tell 'em Steve Dave meet. Yeah, the Ant meet.
Yeah, but...
So we're here to see Practical Jokers tonight, yeah. Yeah, we're going to see...
Practical Jokers!
This is only like their first show in the UK.
Yeah, we're here for their first show in the UK.
And their second.
Yeah, you're seeing two back-to-back, aren't you?
Yeah, we're universally hated.
Because we got tickets for both shows.
Oh, I was going to say, what did you say to the guys that they hate you?
I'm sure they'd love us.
Although Gail did get
I did get face
by
palmed
Joe.
by Gatto last night, which was a little bit embarrassing.
You got Gatto in the face.
No, he pushed me away, which was a little embarrassing. But I did get a hug afterwards, so that was fine.
Oh, so you've had encounters with the guys?
I have sniffed Joe Gatto, yeah.
Okay.
And I've kissed Mer's stubble. So it's
I like the fact that
on
sniffing
his face.
Gatto sounds like really impressive because Joe's got such a big nose. It sounds almost impressive to smell him in return.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did nose each other in the lift. Because that's,
Is that code for something?
No, I think you'll find it's the law.
So perhaps you could each tell me who your favourite Joker is.
Well, I kind of go backwards and forwards between Q and Mel.
You do? That sounds like a fun night.
Well, if you can make it happen, I'll be there.
Q all the way for me. Although does Casey Jones count?
Yeah, why not?
Because he's my favourite.
No, there's fucking rules. You will not step outside the original rule.
All right,
That's cool.
Quinn then.
Mine's Sal.
So what is about Sal?
He's just, you got all night.
Is that what you said to him? Hello. Okay, so I'm gonna speak to some of the other Jokers and TESD fans. Vicky, introduce yourself and who you're kind of looking forward to seeing tonight.
Gatto, because Gatto knows me so well. Gatto knows me because he says that I complain too much.
You wouldn't need to.
I complain too much. Gatto was like, you complain about everything. And then he told Murray that I complain about everything. And he was like, she just complains, she bitches about being alive. And I was like, he knows me.
How could he tell?
Murray couldn't understand us. I'll try it.
How many of you were there?
I'll try it. I tried to tell him a joke and he just looked at us like I was speaking a foreign language and shook his head. He's like, alright then, it's fine.
Jem.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Jem, the 13%er.
There you go. Hello.
Doing the devil's horns on the microphone.
I'm doing the devil horn and nobody can see it. Say hi.
So,
what do you want me to say?
What are you looking forward to tonight? Who's your favourite Joker?
Oh, it's got to be Q, isn't it? You know, we're all ants.
Yeah. So how long have you been listening to TESD?
I've been listening since about 4 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've enjoyed the pod, and I found it because of an ex-boyfriend, and I ditched the boyfriend and then gained 3 grumpy Americans instead.
And you're saying Walt's your favourite?
Walt is definitely my favourite, yeah.
What is it about Walt?
I mean, God, his laugh is the funniest part anyway. But just everything about him, because I think it's the fact that he doesn't think that he's actually liked by anyone.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why he's my favourite, because he's like so just down to earth and awesome.
It's the whole he doesn't just doesn't give a shit. None of them give a shit, but he really doesn't. Like, he doesn't care what anyone thinks.
No, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, guys. It's been a blast. And
thank you very much for your time.
I am in the queue now from the Impractical Jokers. Where's Larry Tour UK? So now here with
Sophia
and Amit. I love the face people give you when you put a microphone in the face. They don't want to talk. It's like, yeah. Anyway, so Sophia, have you got a Twitter handle?
Yep, I'm Sophia UK 78.
Awesome. So what is about Impractical Jokers you like?
These guys just make you laugh no matter how kind of a day you're having. They will cheer you up. They kind of will do the things that you want to do in life but don't have the bollocks basically to do.
Did you come in through Impractical Jokers or Tom and Steve Dave?
Impractical Jokers.
Awesome. And who's your favourite Joker?
Joey.
Joey. What's it about Joey? Is it schnoz?
It's Italian in him. I'm half Italian myself, so kind of bond over that fact. And also, he's just the most funniest facial expressions you'll ever get in the entire world.
Yeah, and I think he's the one with the biggest balls.
He will do anything. He will do anything, and he has no shame, which is fantastic.
What's your favourite stunt that they've done?
Apart from pushing Mo out of a plane.
That's pretty good.
I think possibly the tattoos, having
Will Smith's son tattooed on Sal's thigh is kind of like the most permanent punishment you could ever do to someone. I just think that's amazing.
Did you hear about the code to that story when they met Jaden Smith?
No.
They're at Comic-Con and Jaden Smith's there, and the guys kind of go, "Hey, Jaden, this guy's your biggest fan." And they go to come over and they go, "Show him your tattoo." And he's going, "Yeah, of course." And he had to show him his tattoo.
Oh my
Jaden
God.
Smith looks petrified.
I can well imagine actually having this picture of a child on your thigh. He does. I'm surprised he has not had that removed yet. I am very surprised he's not had that removed.
Well, I think it's part of the deal. You just don't. But it's also like when Joe was on top of that elevated car.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Suck it." I mean, Jesus, how the fuck do you do that?
I
and
don't
not shit
know.
yourself?
I have not a clue. How they do some of the things they do. I think actually Q gets away with quite a lot.
Yes.
He gets away with quite a lot. He doesn't do the more. He does more embarrassing things rather than more scarier things, and he doesn't get pushed too far. He seems to be let off a lot. I think he needs to have a bit more, punishment. Yeah, I think they need to.
There was one which he did the other night where it was like they just got him to go up and high five anyone, and he could say anything and they'd do it. Did you see this one yet?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
And it's like, "Yeah, I got off the charges." High five, and he would just do it because he's so likable.
I did like the one actually not so long ago where Joe's wife came into the punishment, and he had to either kiss a stranger or lose the task, and he lost because obviously he kissed his wife rather than kiss a total stranger. And his face was an absolute classic.
Well, I think that's about the game of it. It's like they've got to pick something which is kryptonite to that guy, not to anyone else. And that was the only thing they could get Joe on.
Yeah,
was the fact that he wouldn't
they
do that
found
in
his
front of his
Achilles heel, as they say. So yeah, it was quite. In fact, I felt for his wife actually sitting there going, "You kiss that stranger, you're sleeping on the sofa."
Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome.
So you are?
Stelina.
So Stelina, you got to meet Q last night.
I got to meet Q Joanna.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You're 17, so you snuck into the pub early, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much. I was there at 2:30 because I knew I couldn't get in at 9. I was around Camden for hours, and then I was just with these two people I met there, and then randomly I saw Mer and Q. I couldn't believe it. And then I just went out and I hugged him. I grabbed my phone, I recorded it.
Yeah.
He turned
if you
around.
put that kind of face
like,
at them, they might have had to run away for fear of charges.
Yeah. I mean, he turned around. I was like, and at first he was like, "Hello, sweetheart." I was like, "Can I have a hug?" First thing I did was ask for a hug, and it was so nice. I mean, the fact there were so many people, there was a few people there, and I was shaking, and they were so nice to you as well. It was really good.
So what's cool? Like Q's your favourite joke?
Yeah.
Me. What's the best thing about Q? I agree. Q's.
First it was Sal in the first season, but then Q got the beard, and suddenly he was just like, "Oh damn!" But of course, they're just funny guys that make me laugh so much. And Q in particular, I don't know. You just always have your favourite for some reason. He seems to be it. I think he's a bit quirky. He's got that hat, and the guys can take to make a ponytail, and he has cats. I have lots of cats. I relate to him like that. So yeah.
So is there like a moment from the show which you remember, which was like your favourite? Just a couple moments.
Couple moments that are my favourite. The presentations are always the best. Just because you don't know what's gonna pop up. Like you can see the other guys laughing. You're like, "Oh, what's coming up?" I think the best one actually is when they did an interview and it was Q and Sal. And Sal wrote Q's lines. And they had to try and make it come, and I think it was really good when they go against each other. So stuff like that was funny.
So it's official. Bearded blokes with cool hats are the best. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
No problem.
This is slightly half cut. Britant here now speaking to Declan Quinn.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Not too bad, thank you.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Ooh.
Where's me paper bag?
Oh, my knees.
Click, click, click.
Which one was Declan? Who knows? So, have you seen the first gig tonight, or are you seeing the next one?
No, I'm going to the second gig. Q fucked up the tickets for the first gig, so I'll be going to the second.
And I want to ask, how did you originally get involved with the guys? Did you just send them something in, or what happened?
The first few episodes, the sound wasn't too great on it. So I kind of fixed it for my own consumption, really, and then around about episode 5, I sent it to the guys, and I said, "Hey, if you want to share this with the other ants, go ahead." And they did that, and then after that, anytime something fucked up came along, they sent it to me. And around about episode 111, I came on full time, and I'm doing every episode since then.
Yeah, and it's become a studio for you now.
Yes, yeah. I have a studio in Ireland and a studio in the UK now.
Oh, so you're an international...
Creaky Studios International.
And since then, you've become invested in Q's business.
Well, Q's become invested in my business.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The way he tells on the podcast, you might think something different.
Yes, yeah.
So what's it like, just, I know, like, a lot of the time it's just them sending videos and audio to you, but what's it like sort of knowing the guys on that level, having started as an OG?
I mean, it's the best fun ever as a fan of the show, particularly being able to actually, contact Walt and work on future shows and stuff like that, and kind of pitch episodes and things. It's the best fun ever. It's kind of like you're a fan of the show and they come to you and they say, what would you like to do? And it's great. It's really fantastic.
And there's some stuff which, like, it began with them, you just doing mixes and them, requesting stuff, and then they kind of, as you say, they start to turn to you and go, it's like, I could just do something here.
Yes.
That would be cool. Just come up with something.
Just add some sound effects, yeah.
What's that like to kind of, did you already have a kind of flair for kind of just creating stuff?
I've been working on sound since I was like in my, before I was 10 really. My friends had all bands and they were recording fucked up sounds, so I was fixing it for them. I was basically, they were throwing one microphone down in the middle of the room and recording an entire band, so my objective was to try and get that to sound like an album if I could.
Yeah.
Like it had been intentionally recorded on multiple microphones. And that was really good training for fixing sound. So I've been kind of doing it since I was a kid.
And if you'd just like to give a quick plug for your studio now.
You can find me at Creaky Studios. That's creakystudios.com, and just give me a shout and I'll help you out with your podcast.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who came along and talked to me at the Impractical Jokers Where's Larry UK tour. It was really fantastic, great fun, and I hope everyone enjoyed those highlights. I will say, when I met Quinn there, I didn't realise it was him. I hadn't seen a picture before, so when I went up to him, to begin with, I'd just gone out of the first gig, and I just put my bag down and stuff, and said, "Oh, here mate, I can see you've got a Tell 'em Steve Dave hoodie on, so I know you're someone who I can trust. Could you just look after my bag while I go for a pee?" Because it was on the table where all the other ants were. He's going, "Yeah, sure, no problem, man." When I came down, it was only then I was told that was him. And he and his girlfriend, his fiancée, I should say, were absolutely lovely, and I'd like to thank them both for chatting to me. Also, one of the highlights for me was during the gig, just at the end, they turned the house lights up so the Impractical Jokers can see us and say thanks to the fans. And I did the ant salute to Q, and Q just pointed up to where I stood and just did the salute back, and it was just, it just made my year. So that's all from this ant special report for the Smedlines. Now back over to Ben.
A big thanks to Brit Ant for that very special report. And you can find him at @TesD_UK on Twitter, and also at Dr. Squee on Twitter. And you can find his podcast on iTunes, the Gallifrey Stands Doctor Who podcast. This is the Smedlines for the 29th of February 2016. Kevin Smith announced last week that a Jay and Silent Bob computer game was being developed and is currently being crowdfunded at fig.co. The game is called Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch and will feature Jay and Silent Bob hunting down their previous clients and trying to win them back, as well as other references to the View Askew universe. The campaign has currently reached 30% of its funding and can be found at fig.co. Also, some of our suspicions were confirmed this week when Kevin confirmed that the third film in his True North trilogy, Moose Jaws, will be filming in May of this year. We were expecting Mallrats 2 to be filming at this time, however this will now be pushed back to the fall. He also revealed that the film will be shooting on location in Canada. Tusk and Yoga Hosers, the first two films in the True North trilogy, were actually shot in other locations in the US, despite being set in Canada. That's the Smedlines for this week.
And we sure hope you enjoyed that very special Smedlines
Yeah.
from the UK. Hey, Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. And I tell you, there's another. If you heard our last show, sort of at the end, Dr. Squee and I decided to launch a podcast. You heard us kind of like bandy out the idea of starting a podcast about Sherlock, and that's sort of underway.
Cool.
Now, I mean, I have to say there was some mixed emotions. I mean, I was totally psyched about it, and then like the next day when there was like, oh shit, I got to do work now. So
the one thing they always say, I just want to show up.
Yeah, I ended up doing work. So, but we are calling it the High Functioning Sociopath Podcast.
That's so great.
I believe the name said it all. So we're the High Functioning Sociopath Podcast. I believe our Twitter account is new. It's at HFS Pod.
I love it. I love the idea.
Yeah. So
I love Sherlock.
Yes, I do too. I do too. And I'm not sure where this show's going to go. Part of it, like, I did like the idea of it just being a limited run, just being based on the shows. But Dr. Squee is already talking about bringing in guests and stuff that he has access to. And fucking hey, man. That'd be awesome. I mean, I wouldn't meet them.
You think Benedict Cumberbatch will be on?
I don't know.
He'll be right over there.
All I can say is
I'll be there.
Dr. Squee has become quite the respectable podcaster.
I believe it.
In any realm.
Yeah.
But most importantly, or most, profoundly, his impact is in the space of the Doctor Who podcast world, where
he's met a lot of amazing people.
He's got a bang up show, and it's his guest list. His guest list doth groweth.
It does.
Now, I mean, they're very Whovian guests. So
now, isn't there a crossover kind of Sherlock and Doctor Who?
Yes, there is.
Okay, I'm not too familiar.
Stephen Moffat writes for both.
Okay,
and
he's
not
sort of
the
main
creator.
He's not the main guy. His brother is the other guy.
He's sort of the creator. Yeah, he's the other guy.
Okay.
And yes, that other guy is the co-creator of Sherlock. The guy who plays why can't we think of his name? Alexa's not in here. Shit.
His brother.
I forgot to bring her in. Damn it.
I can't remember his name.
Minecraft. Minecraft.
Mancroft.
We can't even say his name. I'm going to do a podcast on the guy. I sound like a fucking babbling retard about it. I even dusted out the old the stories. So we'll see how this the actual written works.
Ooh, yeah.
And of course
so is it about the show Sherlock, or is it about just in general Sherlock Holmes?
I think it's really about the show, but I think it leaves the license open. So we can,
because it's by far the best Sherlock Holmes show.
Yeah. I mean, originally my idea was, hey, because I think limited shows are kind of doing it. There's a thing out there. You're kind of the niche for a limited run show. What is it? God, here it goes. It's happening already. Season 3, folks. I'm not even a half hour in. I'm already fucking blowing lines all over the place. Talk salad and scrambled eggs.
Talk salad. Yeah, they haven't done that in a while.
There's a new one.
Oh, there is a new one?
Yeah, it dropped like last week. Although it was recorded a little while ago.
Oh, okay.
So, but like that inevitably is a limited run if it's just based on Frasier and then they do what they're doing and stop.
Yeah. Or they might pick another show after that.
So when I was talking to Dr. Squee, I said, well, so it looks like we got 10 shows and that's it. We're done. He was like, well, we're going to get some guests. So I think he wants to.
He's excited too.
Yeah. So
that's cool. I like it.
So we're actually going to sit down. What's today's date?
Today's the 1st, March 1st.
Oh, wow. The 5th already. On the 5th, we're going to sit down and brainstorm this
Saturday.
out. Yeah, Saturday sometime.
Very cool.
Oh, shit. We got so much going on this weekend. Wow. Okay. What else is going on? Wait. We haven't even started the guest yet. All right. You were not available for this interview.
I was not.
But it's awesome. It's awesome. It's so much fun because it's sort of the follow-up to our interview with these guys back in August. And it seems like everything has changed since then. It seems like it's been years since then. But mostly
what we get to go over is a blow by blow of their Sundance
Oh my
experience.
God, I can't wait because I felt like I was there with them.
Yeah, and
like
then,
all their tweets, and I was like retweeting, and so happy to see.
and then
Bob
there was stuff that like I mean, you hear me kind of like do a kind of moment when they talk about being at the director's brunch.
Yeah.
And Kevin talked about breaking down, and they were there. They saw the breakdown, or whatever, you know.
They were
saw him
there
get all
when it
mushy.
happened.
Yeah. So it was just you hear me like oogle and you know sound like a little girl.
And you said that they made friends with someone.
Oh no! Yeah! Oh yeah, that's even better. Well, I mean, I'm thrilled. I was thrilled about it.
That's cool because I didn't know the woman's name.
The woman who directs Fed Up. They sat with her at the director's brunch.
How cool
too.
is that?
Yeah. So he told me they exchanged tweets and stuff now.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God,
dude,
that's
please, can you
so
tell her
cool.
thank you? And I would love to have her on the show just to
Yes.
thank her. If she does a dopey fanboy podcast, we'd love to have her.
What did he say?
I haven't heard back on that one yet. So we'll see. But it sounds like she's a really good spirit when you hear the interview. Because they do something towards the end that's kind of funny.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's a long interview, folks. Again, long show this week. You will never hear me bitch about long shows. When you get a long show, it's because we got more content for you that is good.
Well, this is an exclusive.
And I trimmed.
This is an exclusive, too, because this is like really...
Yeah,
like,
I trimmed out some
huge.
stuff. Yeah, this is some really cool stuff. It really... They give you... like the experience is close to, you know, the excitement of being there. It's really cool.
Well, excited about telling all the stories too. It's like, you know, all the people they met.
All right, so here we go. Well, enjoy this, and we'll circle back. We still have more stuff for you when you're done. So enjoy this.
Enjoy it.
Here they come. This is the guys from Film Hawk, JJ and Ty. Hey, everybody. Welcome at this time to the show. JJ Garvine. Did I say it right?
Oh, yeah, that was well done.
Okay. And Tai Parquet. That one's easy. And these are the gentlemen, the filmmakers behind Film Hawk, which I think the last time you were on it was still Filming Hawk. Now it's Film Hawk.
Yeah, we kind of went back and forth for a little bit with the names.
And now you guys are like on a roller coaster. And I so want to be caught up on all the cool stuff that's happened, particularly Sundance and what that experience was like. I got to witness it from the peripheral. But please, jump right in.
Well, you know, it's funny because we spoke, I guess, last August, the last time we were on your show. First and last time we were on your show.
Yes.
And you ended it saying, you know, so what are your plans with the movie? And I said, oh, you know, I have plans. I don't necessarily want to say them out loud now. I don't want to jinx anything. So now, needless to say, the plan was to get it into Sundance. And that worked. You can't just tell people, well, my goal is to submit it to Sundance and get accepted, because that's everybody's goal.
Yeah, you figure it's a given.
Right.
And plus with that subject matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
so we were really excited. It was the week before Thanksgiving, and it was a Thursday evening. Exactly 1 week before Thanksgiving. And the phone was ringing. It was an LA number, and I picked it up, and the guy says, "Is this JJ Garvine?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "This is John Cooper from the Sundance Film Festival." And I just remember, oh my God. And he just said, "Yeah, we're doing this." I just thought, like, wow, this is so cool, and ran over to Ty's and told him. And the craziest thing is, then you can't really tell anybody. You can't make it public for another 3 weeks until they made the announcement.
Wow.
So this was a big secret we were keeping from everybody.
That stuff eats me up, too.
Yeah. And we still had, you know, a lot of legal stuff to do with the film, some audio work we were doing, some clips. We had just seen you came to the Work in Progress screening in Brooklyn just a couple of weeks before that.
I love that, too, by the way. I was so glad that I had a chance to see that because, I mean, I don't know how much it's changed, but at least it gives me a real good idea of what it was.
Yeah. So
it's a great
to see it again. And so, from there, I think it was December 7th that they made the
it was December 7th.
The world announcement.
The announcement, yeah.
And we talked up that screening, by the way. Like, we talked about it on the show.
Oh, right. So then, you know,
go back and revisit the archives, folks.
Yes. Yes. And so there it was. Next thing you know, we're at the Sundance Film Festival. And
so did you know at that screening?
No.
Okay. No. I'm trying to do the timeline here in my head. Like, did you know at the screening and you were keeping it secret?
There are people we were then talking to when we knew we were in it, and they were going, "Are you going to enter Sundance?" And it's like, "Oh my God, we're in! I just can't tell you this."
That's right. I mean, at the time,
but no, that work in progress screening that you were at, no, we didn't know at that time.
And you had notes from Kevin on that screening, or at least of that cut, right? At the time,
yeah, we had.
Oh, actually, yeah, we got notes from Kevin before that cut because that specific cut was affected by Kevin. So I specifically remember certain parts of the movie, gauging how the audience reacted, how you guys reacted specifically to some of Kevin's notes. So that screening was very instrumental, actually, in how we shaped the movie thereafter.
I learned something very important to that one. At your screening, which I mean, that I'm going, and that's watch my close-ups, make sure that it translates to a big screen. Because when you're looking at a small screen, because I know that one close-up shot, you were like, "Well, I was looking at a small screen," and when you blew it up, it was totally different. So yeah, I'm like, "Oh shit, I got to watch stuff like that."
Yeah.
So that's probably filmmaker 101, but
yeah, exactly. But yeah.
So. Okay, so you were at that screen. I love that screening. It was great. How much did it change? Did it get tighter? It did get tighter, didn't it?
Yeah, every screening it would get a little tighter, and then we were able to get more clips of other films into it. We had a really good fair use attorney, Dean Cheeley, who also, he's done a ton of things. He's worked on, like 20 Feet from Stardom and.
Ooh, I'm big on
a bunch of the big Oscar ones. Blackfish.
There's a big fair use kerfuffle right now in internet media and all that.
Yeah.
Because, did you guys hear YouTube pulled fair use ability?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what
He's the guy to go to.
What's funny about the version you saw as opposed to the one that played in Sundance as well is the film is shorter. By about 3 minutes, I would say 3 to 4 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes than what you guys initially saw. But it's more full. As JJ said, we added some film clips of other films to kind of emphasize and highlight what Bob was talking about.
Yeah.
And it just made the story a little bit more full. And it just made the symbolism of what Bob was speaking of, just more complete than it did in the version that you were seeing.
I could see that completely. I mean, as I sit down and look at my own film, I'm like, well, how do I jazz up people sitting down, looking at a camera and talking?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I've been looking at everybody's films. Now I understand the obligatory hand cut. Like, why are we cutting on this person's hands?
Right.
It's like because, God, we need something to cut to. So, yeah. So it got picked for Sundance.
Hold on, we got multiple calls coming in. Hold on.
It's okay. So we had breakfast with Bob, or maybe it was lunch, with Bob one day at a diner in the city just before he was going off to Sundance. And
nice.
He was like totally psyched. And so we got, his whole, side of what was going on and how the movie was screening and how excited he was. And did you guys hear anything about, I think I told you, but in your in your hype, I don't know if you remember, a high school class from our town, my town, the town that I live in, was going out and seeing a screening of that film, of your film.
Oh, yeah.
While they were in Sundance. And
yeah, you know what? That does sound familiar.
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
Yeah.
Did they make it?
Yeah, they were supposed to be at the premiere, and
oh, nice.
Apparently they did it every year.
Oh,
and
cool.
It was weird because what happened was there was a bit of a blow up, a dust up in the school because someone from that film program, it's like the seniors get to do this. It's like the class trip if you're in this film program, I guess, that my kids aren't in, but some of their friends are. So one of the kids said to, isn't your dad, like, didn't I see a picture of him on Facebook with that guy? And so, like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. One thing led to another. Next thing you know, like, everyone, they were first of all, my kids are clueless. You can tell how clueless. They're like, is your movie going to Sundance this year? I'm like, no, it's not even done. But, but long story short, it was your movie. So they were going out to see a screening of your film while they were out at Sundance. And it was supposed to be the premiere show. And they were going to try and get a question out to you. I don't know if they did. So
I don't know. I mean, the premiere was just a complete emotional, surreal.
Yeah, it was very
whirlwind.
surreal. Yeah, it was very surreal.
Kevin was there, and Kevin introduced the film along with John Cooper, and Rob Epstein was there, and so much really of just kind of the who's who in Kevin's world.
Yeah, yeah.
For when you see the film, or we've done so much research, and I guess his whole story, but like Amy Taubin was in the audience.
That's
Peter
awesome.
Broderick was in the audience.
Broderick, yeah.
Broderick.
Yeah.
Was Redford in the audience?
Janet Pearson was in the audience. Like, it was just like so surreal. The people that just came out, and like they all stuck around after the show. And
was Robert Redford in the audience?
He wasn't in our audience, but we did get a chance to meet him the day before.
At the brunch?
Director's brunch,
yeah.
yes.
Director's
where
brunch.
Kevin, did you see Kevin break down?
Yeah, oh yeah. All right, well,
Please tell me about that. Oh my God.
So director's brunch, and you're only invited if you have a film that you directed there. So writers, producers, actors, none of them are invited.
And Kevin never made it before.
Yeah. So you take a bus and you go out there, and it's deep in this mountain or whatever. It took us a long time to get there, and we go into this building, and we kind of thought that Kevin wouldn't be there. I just figuring, he had several movies there over the years. He probably wouldn't be there. And then we walk in, and Werner Herzog is standing right there, and we're like, oh my gosh, there's Werner. And then you could kind of see Bob Redford. I call him Bob now because I'm cool with that. And like you kind of see him there talking. And,
you mean Bob?
Dunham was there, and so you're starting to see these names like, oh my gosh, and then you're just meeting all types of filmmakers, Heidi and Rachel, who had the Norman Lear film. They're Oscar nominees. They did Jesus Camp and 12th in Delaware. And Josh Fox was there. He was an Oscar nominee. Mm-hmm. We had met him in New York. Mm-hmm. Just so many different people there. So we're sitting at the table, and
you're among them.
And we're among them.
You are a peer.
Sundance was being colleagues and peers of people whose work you've admired for years.
Yeah, I can totally dig it.
So Kevin, so we're sitting there. So our table mate Stephanie Sotig, she did the film Fed Up, which Kevin saw.
Fed Up. Oh my God, that's me too.
Yeah,
I lost all the way from that too. Oh my God.
She had a brilliant film there, Under the Gun. So we just met her for the first time. We're talking to her.
If I'd known, I would tell kiss her for me. Because I lost like fucking at least 40, 50 pounds from that diet.
Oh, okay. I'll tell her that. She's a friend now. I'm sure she'll love to hear that.
I mean, yeah, it's like Kevin set off a chain reaction with that thing.
Yeah. And that's how I actually knew of the film.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm talking to her, and then she goes, "Oh, there's Kevin Smith." And I turn around, and he's walking right by me, and I stood up, probably way too quickly and dramatically, and I said, "Kevin!" And he looks over, and I said, "Film Hawk." And he goes, "Ah!" And he gives, Ty stands up, and he gives us this big bear hug.
Yeah.
And I'm hugging him, and I go, "We made it to Sundance."
He's like,
baby.
"Not a dick."
Yeah.
That's the first thing he screamed in his head. He's like,
I'm going to start crying. Like that is when it hit me. This is the day before the premiere, and like that was the moment where it's like, oh my God. And then so Kevin's there, and we swapped stories, and we knew he was going to. We were emailing each other the night before, like, can you make it to the premiere? He's going to try. Which, because Sundance everything is always going on. We premiered at 8:30 in the morning, Sunday morning.
Yeah.
His premiere was midnight. That night, Sunday going into Monday.
Yeah.
So, a full day. So, it was really cool for him to get up so early because we already knew he was going to have such a late night for his own film.
Yeah.
So we were emailing back and forth, and then we saw each other in person, and that was super cool. And Yeah, so then Robert Redford comes out, and he
was Kevin sitting with you guys, or where was he?
No, he didn't sit at all. He
No, actually,
stood in the back.
Yeah, he went and stood in the back, and it
He
was
kinda
obvious
said
What
that.
he was trying to do is not take attention and put attention on himself,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
was
yeah.
real cool. Kevin's a real humble dude, man.
Yeah, I know.
So, no, he was sitting off to the side.
There's some Getty photos. I've tweeted them, and you see it's Robert Redford speaking, but you see me and Ty sitting right up front, and you could see Kevin standing in the back. And then, so Robert Redford speaking is very emotional anyway, just to be there, just the fact that we're sitting there listening to Robert Redford. And at one point I did turn around and I saw Kevin sobbing, and I thought that's really cool.
Yeah,
because I was fighting back tears myself.
I think we all were at that moment. That was one of those moments, and that as an independent filmmaker was great to experience because it allowed us to see that we're part of a bigger community. And that's one thing that Robert Redford was talking about community, and
giving back.
And he said he believed in the Native American philosophy where if you take something from the land, you put back. And he said that filmmaking has given so much to him that Sundance was his way of giving back, and that really connected with Kevin as it did, I think, every other director in that room at the moment.
Yeah. I forget. I mean, he's talked about it on a couple of shows since then. But yeah, he said he really broke down, and but then he did what Kevin likes to do is he does that the domino effect, or the butterfly. Like he traces it back, and he's like, so if Robert Redford didn't set this up,
right,
there's no Clerks, and then I can do the same fucking thing, man. So now my origins go all the way to fucking Robert Redford.
Yeah. Crazy. So
totally.
And so this is 2 nights in a row. That was Saturday morning. And then Sunday morning was the premiere. And then from there, so, we do Robert Redford, and we had a really nice breakfast, and then we take this bus back.
Did you shake his hand or get pictures, or how's that work? Or is that too, that's too...
What's that?
With Robert Redford, does he just, does he ditch after? Do you guys get pictures? Do you get to meet him? How's that work?
So what happens is...
Uh-oh.
So this is going back to
you get escorted out for...
the woman who directed Fed Up, Stephanie, so she says... When Robert Redford gets done speaking, you and me run up to him, and we'll take each other's picture real quick. Uh-oh. And we totally did that. It was so crazy because he stops talking. He just did this drop the mic thing.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say. And he starts to walk off, and everybody's like, "Wow!" And she goes, "Let's go." And we run up there, and we got some photos talking to him. So it was super cool.
But he doesn't work the room after he speaks. He kind of just hangs up there. So people can go up there and speak to him, but then he kind of goes about his business. So.
Yeah. So he's low key though.
Yeah.
It's not like a wedding where you walk.
He doesn't want to hang out.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't act like the Godfather.
No.
Yeah, totally cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff is very awkward at a certain level. It's like you don't.
I mean, you can only imagine how many times he's done this.
But exactly. the thing is too is we actually saw him the day before at the documentary reception. There was a documentary filmmakers reception.
Right. So he was at that.
And, we're all sitting there, and he comes out on this very little stage, and next thing you know, we're within 5 feet from Robert Redford giving a speech. And it was really sudden, and it seemed like it was improvised even for them. Oh. So, it was just a great moment to
I would have stood up and yelled, "Hail Hydra!"
Yeah. Hail Hydra, yeah.
You didn't get a Hail Hydra out at all? No Hail Hydras?
I don't think so. He's in that movie Truth that just came out that I want to see. It just came out on Redbox and iTunes and all.
No. That's a new one on me?
Yeah. Look it up. I haven't seen it myself yet.
But. I actually sat back and watched a little Butch and Sundance the other night.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I put that on.
Get reacquainted.
Myself. Actually, right before we went to Sundance, I just kind of put it on just, symbolism, so to speak.
Yeah. It's a nice watch, man. It's a good watch.
I love Westerns.
You got to do them right.
Yeah, Westerns and comic book movies. That's it for me.
So. The way to do a Western is not do a Western. Is do a good story and set it in the West.
The best Westerns are character-driven arcs and narratives. That's what the best Westerns are.
Although, I will say that my favorite Western kind of breaks that mold, which is The Quick and the Dead.
That definitely breaks that mold.
Because I just love the fact that it's set up and, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at the cast, holy cow, ahead of its time.
Yeah.
You had
I like
DiCaprio.
Lance.
You had frickin' what's his name? The Gladiator. God,
Russell Crowe.
Russell
Crowe,
Crowe
yeah.
was in that. Yeah.
Russell Crowe, Lance
Gene
Henriksen.
Hackman. Everybody says he's a pain in the ass to work with.
Yep.
Is he?
That's what they say. That's what the word on the street. What do I know? But yeah.
Yeah, Quick and the Dead was fun. It was a fun watch.
Yeah, I enjoy that. Actually, you know what? My new favorite Western probably is Tarantino's.
Oh, I was going to say, don't say it. Don't say
What?
it. The Hateful Eight.
No. Friggin' Django.
Oh, okay.
And I would consider that a Western.
All right. Yeah. No, that is a Western. That is a Western.
That's
That is
fucking kick-ass, dude.
That is a Western.
I love the Klan scene where they're like...
Yeah.
Where they're like, what do we do with this? Who? Yeah, well, anyway.
I think my favorite Western to watch is Tombstone by far. It's just as
Yeah,
far
that's
as a
a
watch.
good-
It's just my favorite watch. as a
I'm with you on that one. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's sort of
I
an-
really appreciate Unforgiven though, with Clint Eastwood, and
Oh,
Morgan
yeah.
Freeman. That is one of my flicks too.
Wait, what about Silverado? The sort of the precursor to.
Yeah, Silverado. So it's funny. My dad and I were just talking about westerns. His favorite was Shane. And so that's kind of probably why I have an affinity for westerns, because again, they're good character stories.
Yeah, agreed. Again, I mean, it's West. The old West was a setting, you know.
Mhm.
I mean,
exactly.
It's all
just
about
the
the
backdrop.
story.
It
Yeah.
really is just the backdrop.
Yeah. We've gone way off from your breakfast. So you go. The first screening is a whirlwind. What do you remember?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it just, you're at the
first thing you got to remember too is even though this is only a month ago, it seems like this happened like last year.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
It seems like so
much
long
after.
ago. Yeah.
So we have the brunch, Filmmakers brunch. Fantastic.
Oh,
we
my
met
God.
all kinds of people.
It was the best meal we had at Sundance as well.
It was the best meal. The bacon. But anyway, so we get back on a bus. Nate Parker was there. He would sell his movie for $17.5 million in just the next 2 days.
Oh wow!
He was there. Super cool guy. So then they take us back on this bus and they drop us back into where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
So then we did
Get out.
press all day. We were on I put up a link on the Filmhawk Twitter of Mountain Views that we did.
Yeah,
so then we met up back with Bob. So this is what I'm missing. So then we met up back with Bob, and then we did all this press. Then we're back at our hotel, and the goal was to go to bed early. So we had a full night's sleep because the premiere is in the morning. Of course, we don't do that. We stay up almost all night long because we're so jazzed up.
It's like, how the fuck do you sleep?
Yeah, 4:30 in the morning. We're like, we better really.
Yeah, you're probably You're also East Coast.
A couple hours.
So you're jet lagged or different. You're the
at
time
one
shift.
point, I almost fell asleep, and Entourage came on, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's a sign!" So we stayed.
I need an entourage.
I'm going to go back to that. The reason that's funny in a minute.
I need 6 empty-headed guys to surround me.
Yeah, exactly. So we wake up. Oh, and I'm leaving something out. Because of the weather that we were having out east, we were all having a blizzard here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We had a massive blizzard.
Was Ty and I were supposed to arrive on Friday. We hurry up and book the plane to get out of here Thursday morning. So we arrive in Salt Lake City with nowhere to go, nowhere to stay. It was pretty gangster. We ended up crashing at a Holiday Inn, but
thank you, Sandy Lutz, a client of my wife at Evolve Fitness, hooked us up with her points and was able to get us a free room. I want to say her name again, Sandy Lutz. Thank you.
Okay. Shout out for our Holiday
shout out
Inn.
she hooked us up, man.
So a lot of people who were going to come out, our DP, DAPS, a lot of people who were going to come out to see the film got stuck. They couldn't make it out. So it was just me and Ty at the hotel.
Yeah, Kevin did say that there was someone who showed up at the screening late for his screening.
Yeah.
Who came in late because of that.
Yeah.
Deal.
So we wake up super early, literally 2 hours of sleep. We go to the theater. We were there even earlier than they said to be, and we're just kind of like walking around the theater, just like, wow, like this is the theater.
Which theater did it screen first?
Prospector Square.
Yep, the
Prospector Square was the first screening. Yes.
How many seats?
Kevin would later tell us the story. That's where Chasing Amy then premiered. And so that was very sentimental to him that then this was screening here. So Ty and I are just, walking around this theater, owning the theater. We're the only ones in there.
How many seats?
I couldn't tell you.
I think 400.
Okay. I was going to say more or less than 1,000. So less than 1,000.
and it's nice and spread out. There's like a level to it. Like it's really nice theater.
Can you compare it to a local venue, maybe in New York or even where you are?
Well, it's bigger than the IFC Center.
Okay.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So, I'll just say that.
Okay.
Bigger than the IFC Center.
Is that in Baltimore?
New York City.
Oh, IFC. Who's IFC?
In Greenwich Village.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. You know what? Haven't been there yet.
Oh man, you got to.
Yeah,
See, that was kind of like our start when we were small time, and then we said, we got to venture out. We went to the IFC Center.
Is that where your screening was? No, that was in Brooklyn.
No, our screening was in Brooklyn. The Work in Progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is in Greenwich Village.
Yeah, why don't I know it?
So you got to go. Tuesdays, Tom Powers runs a Stranger Than Fiction where they do documentaries.
Docuseries every Tuesday.
Okay. Cool.
And that's where we've met all kinds of filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Curry, Steve James.
Cool.
All kinds of people. But anyway.
Cool.
So we're in the theater and we're walking around and we're like, this is so crazy. And now there's like an hour to go and there's people lining up. So it's like, this is crazy. So they take us back to the green room. And then you kind of do like this little red carpet thing.
The red carpet is actually done in the green room. I
It was
always thought it was
in the green room.
Yeah, I always thought it was outside in front of the theater. It's in the green room.
And you were guaranteed to sell out. You know it, too. I mean, you had the right subject matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like playing for the home team, for God's sakes. It's like, shit, here come the fucking Yankees.
Yeah. So, like, we're back there, and a young woman who did our music, Beth Goldwater, she came out, so she came back, and John Sloss, who's our sales rep, is back.
Wow, your work with John Sloss?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, isn't that Kevin's lawyer?
It used to be.
Used to be at one time.
Wow.
Ed Burns' lawyer, I believe.
And
now.
Eddie Burns.
Yeah.
Which is also funny. I'm telling all these stories out of sequence. Prior to Filmmakers Brunch, we went to John Sloss's house to have a meet.
All right, we want to take a moment to talk about Death Wish Coffee. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and get over to deathwishcoffee.com. And there you can buy the strongest coffee known to man without a prescription.
The world's strongest coffee ever.
Yes, as proudly displayed on my wife's sweatshirt over there.
Yes, on my body, on my mug,
yes,
on
it's
my
on my
K-cups.
Yes, and you'll know them by their telling sign of the skull and crossbones.
It's
that tells
so
you
good.
Exactly what you're in for. It's that used to be the international symbol for poison, but now it is the symbol for good damn coffee.
It's awesome. Without milk, with milk, you don't really need it because it's strong.
But
it's
not bitter?
Not bitter. So you don't even need milk. You don't even need sugar, but you can add it if you'd like. It's just really, really the perfect, strongest, most awesome coffee.
Become a junkie of Death Wish, just like the Anderson Council. And
we got them hooked.
Again, deathwishcoffee.com. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it.
I want to take this time to mention to you www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on FatMan. That's right, www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on FatMan. That's one word, conjunctified. Go there, sign up for your free 30-day free trial. Sign up, get a free book, a free audiobook, because you don't have to go through no tedious reading. You don't have to turn no fucking pages. You don't have to do any of that bullshit. You get in your car, you put on your headphones, and you are listening to a book. You're taking a magical journey into a fictitious land. You're expanding your mind, all when you're stuck in traffic. Fucking amazing. Audiobooks. These are the wave of the future. And you can get in for free for 30 days. A free trial. And
when you get your free trial, you can download a copy of Tough Shit by our Savior, Kevin Smith. That's right. Our Lord and Savior, Kevin Smith, has left words for us to follow in our lives, and we can get it for free just by signing up to audibletrial.com/ThatMan on FatMan. That's right. audibletrial.com/ThatMan on FatMan. Thank you. Please sign up. You'll be very happy you did. Hey, everybody. I hate to interrupt, but I want to take a moment to talk to you about Patreon. What is Patreon? Patreon is a startup-type service. This one caters to ongoing projects. It is for the video bloggers, the podcasters, the bloggers who regularly provide content to an audience out there. And if the audience chooses to, they can support their the shows they listen to that are members of Patreon. ThatMan on FatMan is on Patreon. And if you would like to help us to offset the costs that we incur on this show, it also helps expand our abilities. For instance, SoundCloud, as a result of folks helping us out on Patreon. You are helping to grow the show. And for that, we try and provide our Patreon listeners with special bonuses, special shows in advance that they can hear prior, just special videos, things like that. We try. It's more ad hoc. It's more seat of the pants, but I think the listeners out there are happy with them. No one's complained yet. We're not talking a lot of money here. We're talking like $2 a month, $4 a month. And where can you find us? Very simple. Go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/ThatMan on FatMan. Or you can go to thatmanonfatman.com and click on the link on the right side of the screen that says Become a Patron on Patreon.
Wow, like this is so cool. And everybody gets their photos done in the press, Getty's all there. Then they line us up. We're going to go out to the film's going to start.
Ooh.
So they line us up, and John Cooper pats me on the back, which was like surreal anyway, just for that. And we go in there and we walk in the theater and they're playing. Did you even know this, Ty? I don't know if we've discussed this. They're playing the soundtrack to Clerks. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that. No, I didn't even know that. I wasn't.
They're playing the Chewbacca song.
Oh, wow.
Super loud. And we walk in there and Kevin greets us at the door. And I don't know if I said, like, dude, do you realize the music they're playing? I don't remember that part. That just kind of hit me now. That was a month ago.
Chewbacca.
So we kind of go up front to this group picture. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we go up.
I'll put it in with fair use, but then they'll pull it from fucking YouTube if I do that clip.
Yeah. So they take us on stage, or like kind of off to the side of the stage for this group photo, and that's the one I put on. If you go to Bob Hawk Doc on Twitter, that's the first picture you see, and it's Kevin, it's me and Ty, it's Bob, Rob Epstein, John Cooper. It's like this cool group photo, like a yearbook high school photo.
Yeah.
And then they go to us. They're like, JJ and Ty, your seats are right here. They're reserved, and we sit there. And I had someone patted me on the back as we sat down, and I would later found out that was Peter Broderick. He pronouncing his name wrong.
Peter Broderick.
Peter Broderick.
Yes.
And him and Amy Taubin were sitting together right behind us.
That's so funny.
So John Cooper gets up and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Smith. Everybody starts clapping, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, we're sitting in the theater to our own premiere at Sundance, and Kevin Smith is walking on stage. And this is now on YouTube, so you can see the video. We've posted it all over Twitter and Facebook, and John's really breaking up, saying how much Bob means to him, and then he gives the mic to Kevin, and Kevin says about me and Ty, I am so happy these guys exist. And like, still, that is so surreal.
I'm looking at the picture now, by the way.
For someone to say that, much less someone you admire, a filmmaker you admire, about your film, at your premiere, at Sundance, that he is in. It goes 360 degrees. Then Coop introduces us and invites us up. Now, Ty and I didn't know we were introducing the movie after them. We just heard they were. So now we're up on stage and everyone's clapping, and there's a Getty photo of that. And it was just like, I don't even remember what I said.
Yeah. And I remember what I said.
We said something, and then we sat down, and the movie starts, and I see Holly Dog Films present. Or first, a little thing about Sundance comes up, and then Holly Dog Films presents, and our movie starts, and you've seen it. Starts with Kevin right away telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's in the audience. He's sitting somewhere behind us. And at that point, it just really hits you like, oh, my God, like, we're here. Like, this is real. This is happening. And then, yeah, there you go. The movie played, and it ended. They called us on stage.
So how long was the applause? Do you remember?
A standing ovation. Bob comes out. We're on the stage. I don't remember a single question that was asked. I barely remember anything I said. I look over at one point, and Kevin is on the side of the theater taking his own pictures and tweeting about it. Which is just like, oh, my God. Like,
awesome.
This is...
Yeah, because he had to hurry up and take off.
Yeah,
because he had his.
So
I see him, just taking his own photos. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then, Bob was on fire, and it was just so crazy. And then it ended, and then you kind of get this like swarm of people that everybody kind of wants to, like congratulate you, take a selfie with you. Like all those people I just named, even more, just so many people. And I was like, this is unreal. This is crazy. And then, then we always have people that are like, okay, guys, because Queer Brunch is then across the street. The reason John Cooper scheduled us at 8:30 in the morning was right afterwards we would go over to Queer Brunch, which is a very exclusive LGBT membership, I guess I'll say, of
queer filmmakers,
and
queer people in the industry, because there were lawyers there as well as publicists. And what made that so good is it was an honor actually for him to schedule us at 8:30 because we were the usher to the Queer Brunch. So that was a tremendous honor actually.
Wow.
So we go over and we get on stage there. They talk about us. Ty and I are straight, of course, and here we are on stage at the Queer Brunch introducing our film. And
Get out!
with what were some Ira Sachs was up there. I mean,
Will Allen, who had the documentary Holy Hell.
Yeah, he was there.
So I got to meet him and talk to him. So he was there. So it was, again, every place you went, you got to meet somebody whose work you've admired, or people whose work you would soon begin to admire once once we had an opportunity to see it. So it was just a great experience, a great, eclectic experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio by chance?
I did not.
I didn't see her. I did. Christopher Nolan walked by me.
Christopher Nolan.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was like this weird, and the same. He was coming out of a restaurant into a car, and like literally, I'm like, we couldn't have crossed paths more. Like I had to slow my step down.
There are a few people.
That was Christopher Nolan.
There's a good chance you. Did you meet? Did you meet the guy who did music for Tusk? Kevin's. Kevin.
Now we did and of course now we would run into Kevin so often throughout this trip.
Yeah.
So
did you run into Andy McElfresh?
You remind me who that is.
That's Kevin's. He does one of his podcasts with him, but he did the effects on Yoga Hosers.
Probably.
He's probably a little gray-haired guy with glasses. Used to write for Jay Leno.
Oh,
Jay Leno Tonight Show.
I don't know. I'm
sorry.
Well,
you know what? We went to a panel discussion with Kevin, the cast of Yoga Hosers.
Oh yeah. So then you also met.
We saw Malcolm. We saw Malcolm Ingram there.
Yeah.
We saw Malcolm there.
That's right. Malcolm was there. He gave us a big hug.
So yeah.
He gave He gave Kevin the best Yoga Hosers review apparently.
Yeah, and we were at the Wednesday screening of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw Kevin Saturday.
God, I want to see that movie. I'm wearing the shirt right now.
What, Yoga Hosers?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, man. And you know what? It's funny too, because the further I get away from it, the more finally I think about it.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off about the reviews actually.
Oh fuck, I don't give a shit about the reviews. I'm the audience for that movie, so I don't care.
Primarily because some things are made to be reviewed, and I'm just going to get on a bit of a platform here.
Dude, I have a 14-year-old daughter. I'm going to take her to see that fucking movie.
I have a teenage daughter. While you go on this. If you want to review my movie as a documentary, that's cool. Review my movie. But some things you have to leave to the audience. And I think what happens is people get so caught up in reviews that they forego movies that they might find that touch them. One of the things that Bob said, Scott, man, and it really stuck out. He said, he was talking about the 100 greatest films and things of that nature. And he said it's about films that touch your heart. That's what matters. And, you know, I'm watching Yoga Hosers. My daughter is 18, and I'm like, man, if she were 13, I would love to go see this with her. Sometimes it's not about whether a film is good enough to win an Oscar. It's about the experience that two people or one person has while enjoying it. And that's what Yoga Hosers did for me. And I was really, really vexed by what I read by the critics. The critics shouldn't base their opinions on it. Well, this is not as good as The Danish Girl. The opinion should be based on how does the audience feel.
Yeah.
Yo, we saw that movie 11:45 at night, Scott, and guess what? Everybody responded to it. Everybody loved it. Everybody laughed. But yet then you go and you read all this bullcrap about it. It was just kind of annoying, actually.
Yeah, if you went through the whole Tusk experience with Kevin, you kind of knew that that's where this was going anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's where this is going with Moose Jaws, except what I found with Tusk is its audience is found very quickly as soon as it hit video, like all his stuff, but it's not going to take 10 years.
Right.
You know, it's taking like a year, 2 years.
Right.
People are already
and
like...
you know what? If you really want to gauge how good a movie is, talk to the people, the audiences that watch it. That's how you really gauge how good a movie is. You know what? No matter what we read about our film, and you know what? We got some pretty good reviews. We got a great review from Todd McCarthy in a Hollywood Reporter. And that was great. You know, it was good for us because, you know, you're just excited to have people write about you. It was cool to kind of read good reviews, mixed reviews or whatever. But nothing really made us feel so great about the film as it was when we were walking, you know, down Main Street in Park City, and we'd have people who didn't know Bob, didn't know us, obviously, approach us and be like, hey, you know, I saw your guys' film, man. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about Bob. That meant more to me than any review I read, you know, just from a standpoint of wanting to create something that connects with an audience. And that's what Kevin did. That's what Yoga Hosers did. Yeah. And I think that gets lost for granted when you read a review.
All I know is, you know, I have my daughters at that age usually where, you know, fathers and daughters sort of disconnect a little bit. And, you know, I could see that. But my daughter's like, you know, Kevin Smith is, you know, creating a movie. And my daughter's like, my bae is in that movie. I'm like, fucking, this doesn't happen. So, yeah, apparently she's hot for one of the boys, apparently.
Tweets as you talk to us.
You know what? You totally have to go see it with her. I mean,
I'm all set. I can't wait.
A great job. You know what I mean? It was a fun movie, and it's kind of like being like, you know, how do you review Bugs Bunny? How do you give Bugs Bunny a bad review? You know what I mean? When it's purely for entertainment.
I am the audience for Yoga Hosers.
Exactly.
I'm the audience for Tusk. I get all the inside references. I was there from the beginning. I'm on board, and I'm there for fucking Moose Jaws, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so we saw him Saturday, then we saw him Sunday, then we saw him Monday, and then Tuesday we did not. But we were emailing each other, and then we saw him Wednesday for the Yoga Hosers screening.
Yeah,
so it was really cool. Like, and especially since we got into Sundance, how much we've been emailing and tweeting. But this was the most we've certainly physically seen each other back to back to back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's you're all hanging out on the campus, if you will.
Exactly.
Doing the thing.
When you have a film in Sundance, you wear this badge around your neck. And that badge really represents your, I'll just say this, you're part of the cool kids.
I was going to say, everybody at the prom wants to fuck you.
Yeah. That's another way of saying it. I'll just stay with it. So, you know, we could go back next year without a film and, you know, we'll be standing in the parking lot.
That's
but
true.
With this, like, Sloss had this party.
And it's your first, too. They should make a special badge for your first one, too.
Where we were walking in this party, like, there's literally like 50 people on the sidewalk standing in line, and, like, we bypassed them and went to the front. We showed our badges, and they let us in. And it's like, there's nothing more gangster than that. That's Entourage. In fact, not only did they just let us in, Richard Linklater was standing there. You know, like once you get through, and he was standing there having a drink. And I said, Rick. And he turned around and he was like, oh, hi. And, you know, you kind of see the badge and like we hugged. And I go, we're at Sundance, baby. And like you can get away with that at Sundance. Of just two middle-aged straight men hugging each other, calling each other baby. Because you're at Sundance and you're a director at Sundance.
The Richard Linklater.
Yes.
Director of Slacker.
Yeah.
Another Kevin touchstone.
Oh, my everything is.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
him and Sloss are so tight anyway. Sloss helped with Boyhood. In fact, I didn't actually watch the Oscars this week, but Amy, that won Best Documentary, John Sloss sold that at Sundance last year.
Wow.
So this is really good company to be in.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate.
Yeah, you guys. Wow.
But yeah, it was crazy. So
I'm fortunate you're on my show.
Yeah. This will probably be the last time. I think we're going to
Too big for you now. We've outgrown
and then
you.
Monday, so we did the premiere Sunday, and then Monday, did we show Monday? Yeah, we had
Salt Lake City.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
We
That's
had
what
to
it
go to
was.
Salt Lake City.
Oh, yeah.
But
I heard about this
Monday,
shit.
you wake up. Oh, so we watched Entourage. There's a part in Entourage where Armie Hammer is in it.
Oh, wow.
And he's standing there, and
The guy from Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
And was almost Batman in JLA.
Yeah.
That never happened.
So he's in Birth of a Nation. I didn't know that at the time. So he's in Entourage, and the guy says, boy, I didn't realize Armie Hammer was so big. And I just thought that was a pretty funny thing that was said. So the next morning, we're doing radio. We wake right up early. We're doing radio. Armie Hammer's there.
Oh, wow.
This is so surreal. And he really is that tall. He's a big guy, man. We took a selfie.
You know who I had the exact opposite experience with? But now I'm 6'2", so maybe...
Yeah.
But did you see Watchmen?
Yes.
You know the guy who played the owl? Or whatever, the night owl?
No, I don't. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's essentially their Batman. You'd figure he'd be
I
big.
remember the Night Owl, yeah.
But I was at least, maybe a foot and a half taller than that guy.
You know what? Speaking of the Watchmen, we met Jackie.
Oh, Jackie Earl.
Jackie Haley Earl. I always get that. Yeah, we met Jackie Haley Earl, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That might not be the correct order of his name.
Yeah, it could be Jackie Earl Haley.
All right, help me. Which one? Who did he play?
He was
Rorschach.
Rorschach. Oh, wow. That dude's been around forever.
Yeah, he is cool.
The red hair guy. Yeah.
Okay, wait, I got to correct it. It's Jackie Earl Haley.
Jackie Earl Haley.
Oh, yeah. He was great in that.
He was in Breaking Away in the Bad News Bears.
He's in the Bad News fucking Bears. That's it.
And he went away for 30 years.
Did Kevin see him?
Little Children. He was an Oscar nominee.
Was Kevin around then? Because fucking Kevin loves Bad News Bears.
Oh, really?
Yeah, loves Bad News Bears.
No, we just actually met him, just ran into him on the street.
He's in Birth of a Nation. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he and Armie are in this same film, and we're all doing radio just back to back.
Armie.
Cool. And that was the morning we had coffee with Nate, and that night he would sell for $17.5 million. So needless to say, we didn't see him for coffee the next morning.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I guess he would be clearing out. Somewhere counting his money.
And then just all kinds of people we would just come across, and everybody was just so nice.
So how many screenings you had? 3 or 4?
4,
and there's one, a P&I screening, which is press and industry.
Right,
and
but 4 to the general public.
4 to the regular public.
So is that 5? Would that be 5 total?
So I guess you say 4 or 5.
Are you around for the P&I? Do you have to?
No, we are absolutely not allowed to be there.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I guess they don't want you to kind of persuade
or
influence it.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't want to be there anyway. Because those are like those are the insiders. So they'd be like,
oh yeah,
right.
You do get a list, or at least we did, of who was there because they signed in, and there were some heavy hitters.
Wow,
which was nice to say. Then we show again one night, and Basil, what's his last name?
I can't pronounce it. It's Greek. Sikolos.
Rathbone? Basil Rathbone? Was he there? Basil Rathbone?
New York. And he's heavy into Sundance. And he was moderating our Q&A. And Bob was just on fire that night. I don't know why that particular night, but I mean, it was just a really great screen. All the screenings were sold out, so it was always a packed audience.
And all the Q&As were really pretty good.
About how long were about?
Bob is awesome when he's on stage.
Bob is Bob.
Yeah.
And then we all just kind of developed a good chemistry as far as how to deal with the Q&A. So it really worked out very well.
Yeah.
About how long was the Q&A?
They were usually about a half an hour.
Yeah, maybe a little less.
That's actually easy. It
is. It really is.
So Basil asks the question, which was never asked by us, by anybody. He says, now that, he just saw the film again. And
how'd you get the cat to...
Now here's another, what is this, 20 years later, is Chasing Amy a great film? Now, you'll look up on Twitter. It's on YouTube.
So
it's a 6.5-minute answer.
Oh, awesome.
And
because I kind of asked him sort of the same thing when he was here, kind
Did
of.
you really?
Did you get an answer?
Well, he talked to me. Well, he did bring up the great film thing, that subject. So, but then in the end, I kind of, if I go back and listen to the episode, I ended up throwing in the term "great" a lot.
Right.
Saying, oh, that's
But,
great.
there's so much validity in what he says. It's about whether how the film makes that specific individual feel.
Right.
That's
And
really
of
what
course,
it comes
for
down
any
to.
of your listeners, that comes up in the film. Kevin and Ben Affleck and Bob are sitting around the table, and Bob says Chasing Amy's not a great film,
Right.
because you have to give it time.
See,
So
but I disagree, though.
you have to know both sides of the story. But for him to ask that, and then Bob goes off, and it was just fun just being there, being part of it.
See, I disagree. I feel that something that is great the instant it is.
Well, Bob has changed his answer because the premiere of Citizen 4, Bob was so moved, and this was, the year before last,
yeah,
wrote, a great, important film. And I said, that dude used the word great on the night of the premiere.
The man who said an instant classic is an oxymoron. Right. Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
So there are exceptions.
Right.
There are exceptions, but that was pretty cool. And that wasn't even our last screening. Then you do more press, and you're just some of this stuff is just now showing up online.
Now, hang on, you screened at the what was it? Shoot, which theaters did you do?
Prospector was the premiere.
Okay.
Eccles.
Okay.
Something in Salt Lake City where you they drive you out there.
And then what was it across from the hotel?
The
Red.
Egyptian? Did you get the Egyptian?
Yarrow, maybe?
No Egyptian?
No, we didn't screen at the...
we didn't screen at the Egyptian.
Okay. And we didn't screen at the Yarrow either.
Oh. Okay. Well, I know the name Yarrow.
Yeah.
Now, the Egyptian, when they first make a list, here is what times you're going to show and where. And this is just a test. Yeah. And we were at the Egyptian. We were like, fantastic. And that ended up getting switched, which we were bummed. We did see Yoga Hosers at the Egyptian.
Yeah. Kevin was really excited about that.
And then it was cool because then across the street where we would eat several times that week is where...
he sold the movie.
Exactly,
yeah.
In fact, we ate breakfast there. Jamie Snow, an associate producer who came on the last day, treated us to breakfast. Oh, I got to bring this up. Bob Hawke bought us lunch.
Oh, my God.
Friday before the screening.
Did you have a heart attack? No.
I'm going to repeat that. Bob Hawke bought us lunch. We have photos.
I'm going to have to cut this out.
I think he owned one.
Yeah, it's the truth, actually. Yeah.
Wow. Did you guys fall over?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was texting Daps, or DP, who was stuck in the blizzard, and I was like, Bob Hawke just bought us lunch. And he was more shocked about that than when we got into Sundance.
Look at it this way. From now on, Bob Hawke is buying you a lot of lunches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every lunch you have from now on, I think Bob Hawke has bought a piece of it. So
I mean, that was our week. I know I'm forgetting a ton of things, but it's just a crazy.
Now,
you're constantly pulled from here to there, so it was so much going on all the time, not much sleep.
Now, when I think back to that breakfast, Bob was all up in arms because he wasn't sure if there was going to screen in Germany because they don't really tell you in a prompt, I guess, way or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, we were very close to Berlin. We were probably on a couple of rough drafts of the schedule. They ended up. Bob was a keynote speaker for an event. They did show a clip. Unfortunately, we didn't screen there.
No, you didn't screen. Okay, I wasn't sure because I know that he went there, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, right. We did just get a call from another big festival. I'm not allowed to say what it is yet, but I'll tell you offline. That's coming up, so that's great to hear.
Does it start with an S?
No.
Okay, so it's not South by Southwest?
No, they've already announced.
Yeah, they've already announced.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And, we are, I don't know when your listeners are going to be hearing this, but, we show at CineQuest this Friday.
Actually, they're going to hear this tonight.
Oh, okay.
We're dropping quick.
Yeah, we're at CineQuest this Friday at 7:30
San Jose, California. If you're in the area, come on.
Where is it?
Bob is receiving the Maverick Award.
Yeah, the Maverick Spirit Award.
So, yeah.
Oh, so he's out there?
He will be.
Yeah, he's leaving tomorrow, I believe.
Where are you guys?
No, we're in Wilmington now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to miss that one.
Okay.
But this other big one I'm announcing, it will be there. And actually, there's even another film festival. I'd actually even forgotten about that. That's how arrogant we've gotten. We're in 2 coming up.
Hang on now. Can I ask you a question? Were you talking to Kev about doing the festival thing?
Like, what do you mean? Like his advice, or?
Yeah, and did you express some possible trepidation? Because he was talking about it on one of the shows. He was talking about, going through that process of going down to all the screenings and how traveling becomes a bit grueling. And I was wondering if it was you guys he was talking to.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you say that the traveling was grueling, and then he was like, "It's what you got to do."
With it personally, but
I talked to him about something that could.
That's so funny. That's cool. I got a feeling it was you guys. That's awesome. Well, don't gripe. Just travel.
Festival, and I'll text it to you later. It's gonna be really cool. It's out west.
Cool. Is it like Burning Man or something like that?
Burning Man. It's not Burning Man.
Did they even show films?
I don't even know. Probably. What wouldn't they do?
But
just like if you film it, or display it on the backs of like naked people.
Yeah. Oh, we would totally do that.
Bob would totally do that.
Then it becomes an art project.
So that's our week. So that's Sundance, man.
That's insane, man. I'm so like it was so neat to know somebody who was there and going through that, and the fact that you were so close to that whole Kevin mythology and
it was really nice to because you're a big fan, obviously. So
oh God,
the story, and we were fans, but then we just did so much research and spoke to him personally. So to hear all these people and to put a lot of these people in the movie, and then all these people to kind of be at the premiere, it was just like this is really
surreal.
crazy.
Surreal's the word.
The fact that you guys were in the fucking room when Kevin broke down.
You could see why it was just as emotional, or maybe even more for him, for Kevin himself.
Yeah.
It was just.
Oh, it was a very emotional Sundance for him, and he said that. I mean, he was there with his daughter for the first time.
Yeah.
It was about her.
Yeah, and the Bob Hawke film being there.
Exactly. So this was everything came full circle for him.
That's so awesome.
And again, if you haven't seen the introduction or any of your listeners, it's on our Film Hawk Facebook page or at Bob Hawke Doc Twitter of Cooper and Kevin introducing the film.
And I think
I still watch it every couple of days. I just put it on my phone and watch it.
That's cool too. Is that through Bob, obviously via Bob, but for us to make this film about Bob, and then via Bob for us to be a part of this moment for Kevin, that meant a lot to us. You know what I mean? It was a very humbling experience.
I tell you, all this stuff's been amazing to me. Meeting you guys too when we did has been great for us because, like I said, there's another thing I did based on talking to you guys. I decided, hey, I'm going with fucking what do you call it? Shit, the latest version of Final Cut 10.
Oh, are you?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck with that. I love it.
At least with all my cutting, all my rough cuts or whatever, all my shaping, and it makes sense. So I even with my big box set of 7, I went and bought the bullet, plopped down another couple hundred or whatever the fuck
the
it is.
user interface is completely different.
Yes, but I'm used to iMovie, so it's the fucking same thing.
Yeah,
iMovie.
Or whatever
I
it is.
I enjoyed it. It took a minute just to rework and relearn, but I enjoyed it though, man. So.
Oh, I never got so good on 7 that it would matter.
Okay.
Because that was like unpacking all kinds of shit.
Right.
Although I do hear, what do they say, the soundtrack is still good on that. Unless you have to go out and buy Logic.
I think you'd have to go out and buy Logic.
You bought Logic, didn't you?
The more tools, the more resources.
Yeah. If I go, that's another fucking couple $100 down the toilet. Bah! That's how they fuck you.
Yeah.
You got to do Kickstarter.
Well, we've done that.
Right.
Couple
Did you do
times
Kickstarter
now.
for your film?
Yeah, we did. We raised about $3,000 the first time, and then we just did it really bad timing. I have a theory about the holidays this year.
Yeah,
I think
the holidays.
everybody went for the cash grab this year. Everybody hung a bucket out. And I think it just
Kickstarter's tough. It's all about timing.
Yeah, it really is. You learn.
Well, we got our $15,000 that we needed to get off the ground.
And to be honest, we did well because of the love and respect Bob has in the indie film community.
And Kevin did our Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's why we got 15. It's not an easy schlep Kickstarter. We had some very fortunate variables in our favor. So
I'm just happy to have Kevin have agreed to do it on camera for us, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Yep. Have fun with that. You know that interview's going to last all day, so have fun editing that.
I hope so, but from
have fun cutting it, Scott.
From everyone scheduling him, I'll get lucky. I hope I get so lucky. We'll see. You know what I mean? The people around him are more like an hour or two tops. So.
Oh yeah, well that's what they said to us. And
once he gets in the room.
We filmed in his store at the Secret Stash in Red Bank.
Yeah.
And he ended up shutting the store down and saying, and everyone who works there really are the guys from Comic Book Men, Walt and all those guys. And he was like, yeah, just shut the store down. And they go out front, they close the front lights off, and there's a sign. I took a picture of the sign. It just said, closed for private something. And we just kept filming, just kept hanging out.
That's awesome.
And then we joked I'll see you at Sundance. And
we're having trouble getting Kevin. I mean, not in terms of that he doesn't want to do it, just the frickin' schedule.
His schedule.
He's so booked.
He's got so much going on now. He's got 3 television shows. He's got pilots in the working. And
see, that's what helped us was he was in town. He was shooting something for AMC, and AMC was super cool. We used their lights.
Yeah.
He was setting up, and they're like, "Yeah, go ahead, guys."
Yeah, it was Comic Book Men. That's what they were shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And he pushed back Mallrats too.
Yes.
He was supposed to be starting that right after Sun. And we did film at the Quick Stop, and that's when he was discussing. That was the night. So that was April of last year. So April of last year, we were doing our last bit of filming, and it was at the Quick Stop. It's where we ended.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
all roads lead to Kev.
It's so much of this really did lead to
really
Kevin.
Does.
At one time, I joked to him, and I said, "Kevin, this was for Kickstarter," and I said, "Dude, I've prostituted your name so much on Twitter," and he was like, "Yeah, do it." Hey, we're.
How do you think I feel?
We're doing this together.
We wouldn't be here without Kevin now. I mean,
we really wouldn't.
I mean, obviously, we wouldn't be here without Bob. But there's a symmetry that all goes into this, man. I just, fortunately enough, we were able to get to Sundance because we had these people in our corner. So that's what it came down
it's
to.
funny because in our film, Rob Epstein, Kevin, of course, Eddie Burns, of course, Barbara Hammer, Scott McGeehee, David Siegel. I'm dropping all these names.
I know. Go on, man. I love when people talk. I love when I don't have to talk.
We're all Sundance alumni. And these are, and now
we are.
Now you are too.
Yeah,
I'm looking at as I look at your page over on Twitter, which is at BobHawkDoc, one word. You can see the laurels and everything.
Yeah.
2016 Sundance.
We're Sundance alumni.
We went a full 360 of, filming Sundance people and
to becoming Sundance people.
We got into Sundance.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate. Very fortunate.
So awesome. So tell me, while filming your doc, at what point did you feel like, is this ever going to end?
Every day.
Okay, because I'm getting there. I mean, that's where I'm starting to live.
Yeah. And post-production gets even worse.
Oh, I'm not even there yet. I'm just talking about trying to get the people on board.
Because, kind of just making sure it's the best of what it could be or how it could look. And then, of course, are you also guys using Bob as a creative consultant?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have lots of notes. And it's tough love with Bob. And I say that as a compliment.
Okay.
It's tough love. And he is the Casanova of tough love.
Actually,
he will tell you, what he doesn't like and what does not work.
Yeah.
And things that he does like, he skips over. So you never hear where it's just like, Bob, say something nice. No, that's not what he does. And that's the brilliance of it.
Yeah, our breakfast when Bob and I met before he came out to Sundance with you was essentially him to go, I'm sorry I haven't been around for you guys, but it's okay because Wait till editing comes.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you won't want me around.
And, Bob says it's at the end of our film, and he'll say this to you many, many times. Documentaries are made in the editing room.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, so many times I'm shooting and I'm like, you know what? It really doesn't fucking matter. I mean, if we get something, we don't get something,
Yeah, just keep filming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If magic happens, great. If it doesn't, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you figure it all out.
Yep, it's true. And I can't tell you how many fucking mistakes I've made where I go, fuck, I don't know if I've got, I might just have 128, megapixel sound or shit, Oops, I recorded in MP3 mode. Oops.
Yeah.
There's a drift. But,
Are you shooting it yourself, or do you have a DP?
I have a DP. I have two DPs, actually.
Yeah, let them worry about it.
We alternate. But but I'm doing sound, so.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so ultimately I'm on the hook for something.
Yeah.
And basically I run sound and then give them a feed. So there's lots of redundancy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's smart.
Hey, best of luck with that, man.
Yeah.
Best of luck. We're taking a break, and and of course the number one question you're going to get at Sundance,
what's your next project?
Is what's next?
Yeah, what's your next project? I already have my answer for that, but I'm already like, I already know I want to fucking break in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now we're kind of taking a break. We're doing the festival circuit. We're talking, with John Sloss at Cinetic. Looking to sell the film, of course, find a good home for it. And then we're narrowed it down to two good ideas, neither which I'll share today. I
was going to say, so the golden days of everything selling that day, like in the 90s, are over.
Oh, yeah. It was a very tough market.
Yeah.
I've stayed in touch with three different filmmakers, two that have sold. And even the two that have sold, both have said what a tough market it is. Yeah, it's not like Kevin, where then you walked across the street and Harvey Weinstein sitting there and he wrote you a check. It's very tough, and Sloss himself even said it's it's kind of a long road. The film will find a home, of course, and then what's going to help is all these other festivals. And,
any thought of digital distribution on your own or anything?
No,
that's a big
that's
option.
actually why we have a sales rep.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So you don't want to do that.
Don't have to deal with that at this moment.
I mean, we kind of did that with our first documentary, and it certainly won't reach.
It's just not. It's not as profitable, and it doesn't reach the same amount of the audience. And what you have to understand too is Bob is somebody who everyone deserves to hear about. So we want a larger platform, not just for the film, but for Bob's story. He deserves a larger platform than what we had for our last film. So. Again, that's one of the reasons why we're working with John Sloss. He is the best in the business, and so we're again fortunate to be affiliated with the best.
Yeah. So if Netflix came to you and said, "We want to buy it,"
you got to talk to Sloss.
There it is.
There was a rumor out there, and I won't tell you who it was, but I heard from two different people in this day of someone that bought the film, and I was like, "What?" I mean, two people in the business. I started to get nervous. It was just a rumor, but it's out there. I've seen the list of people who have seen screeners and stuff like that.
But it sounds
that's what he's hired to do.
I mean, Kevin has set in many respects a crazy expectation, I think, for all filmmakers in that respect. And I think the market's very different. Even Kevin, I don't know that he walked out with the signed anyone's distributing yoga hoses
really,
just yet.
And Kevin really was the dream come true at Sundance.
Yeah.
Ed Burns really was too, and I know Kevin and Ed probably.
And you know what? It happened like that this year for Nate Parker. But the fact of the matter is if you kind of look at the list every year at Sundance, what you'll find is like the top 10 or 12 maybe sell at the market at Sundance. But then as the weeks go by, you'll see this film got picked up.
Yeah.
This film got picked up. The film Under the Gun with Katie Couric, directed by Stephanie. Sotik could pronounce that.
Mentioned her again.
Last name, but directed by her.
I just emailed her.
That just got picked up like last week. And
listen to you over there.
It's just par for the course this day and age. They do have the films that sell right there, and you have the rags to riches story right there. But
Southside with You just recently sold.
But for the general films, they tend to sell a little later on. This happens every year. Bob he'll tell you that himself. If you're expecting it to sell at Sundance, then that's the wrong expectation to have.
Yeah.
But you go in there thinking, forget that. I'm selling it at Sundance.
No matter what happens, I'll just be happy when the movie is done.
Exactly. That's first and
There you
foremost. That's first and
Step
foremost.
one.
And you know what? I know I'm miles off from that.
Right.
And it seems to get longer. That the only person who knew this too was Bob. Like he said it. He's like, "What are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like 3 to 6 months. Yeah, 3 to 6 months. You're fucking dreaming.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's been a very cool experience, and knowing you guys and kind of riding your coattails in many respects has been so amazing.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll mention Kevin one more time, as if I haven't enough. He starts off saying, he saw Slacker, Richard Linklater's Slacker, and said, well, if he can do it, why can't I?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So then if we can look at that and be like, well, if Kevin can do it, why can't we?
Yeah.
So if you could say, man, if these two knuckleheads can do it, why can't
Seriously,
and it just goes right
why
down
can't
the line.
you, man?
And it was actually Malcolm. Really, Malcolm was the one who did it. I mean, he was on the show, and as he talked, I'm like, I could do a documentary.
Yeah. Well, Malcolm, he's doing that one about the Paul Williams film.
Yeah, he's doing
Phantom of
Phantom of
Winnipeg.
Paradise.
Yeah. He's doing a movie about a cult
that's what it's
movie.
called.
Yeah, the Phantom of Winnipeg. Yeah.
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 That's his latest.
Yeah.
It's a
So
he's
it
another one.
was really nice meeting him because I think we talked before. I admire his work. So
yeah.
it
his
was,
stuff
again,
is
a
good.
humbling experience.
I had never met him in person. Not that we don't really know each other, but go.
But you
far
know
back.
the story.
I know his story, and we had a conversation via MySpace. That's how.
Oh my God!
This was even before Twitter, and this is when we hooked up with Bob. When we did Keeping the Peace, and he was talking about Small Town Gay Bar, and I found Malcolm on MySpace, and we chatted.
And Bob has obviously told you the infamous.
Yes,
he needs to get fucked in the ass story.
Please don't repeat it.
Yeah, we know the story quite well, actually.
Great story.
Bob is the one who told me what a bear was all those years back. I had no idea. Then I remember he
and not only did
very vulgarly told me what a bear was, and I was just like, okay, thanks, Bob.
Did Bob tell us
put that one in the data bank?
The story about Malcolm. Malcolm has tweeted that.
Yeah.
And we have retweeted it.
Yes, Kevin has gone on to educate everyone on bears and otters.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
And again, I mean, that was really I won't go there.
Malcolm is Kevin calls him his gay avatar.
Man, Malcolm's mad cool, man. He's a mad cool dude.
Yeah, when he came on our show, it was awesome. Like he
really
totally out of the blue though. Like that's the way he operates. You could just tell.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Yoga Hosers. We actually mentioned you. We said, boy, they'd love to be here.
Oh my God, yeah.
Not even so much at the film, but at the what was that thing we were
at the panel?
Yeah,
at the panel discussion with the
God.
Yoga Hosers class. You would have loved it. You guys would have absolutely loved it. Absolutely.
Justin Long was there.
They've released some of it. I mean, I've listened to some of it, but I'm sure it's not like being there.
It was fun. It was very fun.
Yeah. I mean, Ralph Garman was there, if I believe.
Yeah, exactly. He's hysterical.
Yeah. He's played some of it on Smodcast and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And that was the day after our premiere. So we had just saw him. This was our third day in a row. When he came out and he gave us a high five, it was almost like we laughed.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Yeah, and he has definitely been dropping nods to you, too, and the film.
Yeah, and that's been and thank you because you've been alerting us when he has, and he's given us some really, really nice shout outs on his podcast. And Twitter, he has 2.8 million followers. So when we tweeted out, we got into Sundance. It was Kevin who then retweeted that.
Right.
Yeah.
That everybody knew about it.
Yeah,
and it's funny because the main picture that we use, they say send in a couple of pictures of, high def stills. And we did one of Bob sitting in the movie theater by himself. And there's another one of Bob by the new World Trade Center. And then the one of Kevin and Bob talking. And of course, that's the one that they use.
Yeah.
And it's in all the booklets that you get. And, it's the big slide on the screen. And a lot of reviews that came out would then use that picture. So then that kind of became like the photo of our film.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. And there's a funny, but I'll have to Google it. I haven't done it in the last couple of weeks, but we did an interview on Sundance TV that if this ever sees the light of day, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll have to check to see if it's on there yet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and you know what? We're in the green room, and Michael Shannon was in there from Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
99 Homes.
8
Mile, a million things.
8 Mile!
He's super tall.
How tall?
You know what? 6'4".
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Scott, you and I are 6'2".
Yeah.
He's got us by about 2 inches.
Anytime I look up, he's big. That's my gauge. If I look up, he's big.
By about 2 inches.
Extremely skinny. And then we see him, and it's like, God, what's that?
I said he is. He's thin, but he's like wiry. Bill.
Yeah.
Looks like he's
and then Bob sees him, and I was lucky enough to take a picture of it. Bob sees him, he's like, "Oh, hi, Michael. I knew." And he talks about the first director Michael ever worked with.
That was a good Bob.
Story.
Yeah.
Like, out of nowhere. It's like, Bob, how did you... The story was just in you, and you just happened to see Michael Shannon to be able to tell this story right here and now.
Right in front of him.
And Michael's just like, this is amazing. I was like, I'm going to go text him and tell him that I ran into you. And it's like, that's another cool thing when you're walking around. And also, walking down Main Street at Sundance with Bob Hawke is like you're walking down with, like, Justin Bieber.
Yeah, fucking royalty.
Everybody stops.
Yeah.
Elvis Mitchell stopped us. It was like, Bob, hey, you go. Like, everybody stops you. And John Cooper, who was the director of the festival, who I never even thought we would really get to see him, would bump into us on Main Street and stop and chat with us at all times. And it was just like super cool.
It's like the bell at the ball.
Yeah, at Bob. And, I know it's a Kevin Smith webcast, your podcast. We want to talk about him a lot.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We love Bob.
It's all good about, we made the film so people knew about Bob. We wanted people to see the Bob we knew. And, please, when the movie's available, go see it. You'll learn everything about Bob Hawke. There's several people who came up to us and be like, I just randomly picked movies.
Oh, my God. That's interesting.
And, like, this is fantastic. And they're getting their photo taken with him. And,
yeah.
And, like, a couple people that really came up and be like, yeah, I went into this movie absolutely blind. And, wow, Bob Hawke, what a it's like so cool.
And that's how you gauge a movie. Like I say, you gauge a movie by the audience. And for us, it wasn't even necessarily the audience because a lot of the audiences knew Bob. But when we were walking up and down Main Street, and you would just have a random person come up to you and tell you what the film meant to them. And they had no idea what the film was about, had no idea who Bob was. That's when you feel like, you know what, this movie's successful because it connected with people the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, first of all, I still need to film with you, Mr. Parquet.
Sir.
Oh, nice.
So at some point, we got to make that happen. But
liking some of our tweets, but go to the Michael Shannon one.
Yeah, I'm not good at multitasking. Without Gene, I'm fucked. Without my wife, I'm fucked. I mean, that's basically
Yeah.
But so I appreciate you guys coming in and being on the show again.
Oh, thank you for having us, man. It's always a pleasure.
Dude, and thanks for being such an inspiration. You guys are a total inspiration for me.
I appreciate that.
And the story's been amazing. And it's been, like I said, we love Bob. I mean, you never meet people like him in your life. And
No. He really is a unique one.
Yeah, and it's once you sort of get in with him, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been this fortunate.
Bob is infectious. He really is.
He is.
Again, we got to Sundance because he's infectious. So
yeah,
we're just very grateful and, very fortunate to be a part of his life and his story now, actually. We're a part of his story as well now.
Yeah, so. You totally are.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
You guys,
you worked our way in.
You told his story.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, but you saw a niche and you went in. I went in for the same thing. I saw a niche and I went in, but now I'm discovering out in the West Coast, there is a rival podcast doc being created.
Oh, wow.
Well, it kind of sucks.
Your story is your story, though.
I agree, but
away from you. No one can take that away from
you. But, and that's funny. At Sundance, there were several films that were extremely similar that had the same... One of them was Kate Plays Christine, which Ty and I saw, and... another film just called Christine, which was about the same person.
Same subject.
Oh, wow.
But what's cool was because they were about the same subject, they played this at the same festival. And people could kind of see both and come out with two completely different stories.
And you know what? One of the things that Bob said in the Q&A, he was asked a lot, specifically a lot of times by younger filmmakers, what advice would you give to a filmmaker trying to make their debut film?
Yeah.
And Bob said, specifically for your first film, he said, don't make it unless you have to. And Scott, this is something you have to make.
Yeah, it's
so
very
don't
true.
let anything discourage you.
That's
man.
true.
Yeah,
I just have to do it from a different angle.
Yeah, this is something you have to make, so don't be discouraged by anything. Just make your film.
Very true. Very true. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the slap on the head.
Hey man, Bob has slapped us plenty times. So and you'll be getting it from Bob pretty soon too. Everything I'm saying, you'll hear from the man himself as you continue through the process.
And where can everybody find you guys again?
Our Twitter @BobHawkDoc and Facebook. I don't know how you link that. Just Filmhawk.
Filmhawk.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Scott.
All right.
Take care.
Talk to you later. I hope you guys really enjoyed that awesome interview. I really like talking to these guys. I left as much of it intact as I thought was good and appropriate, and so there's a lot there. Very little was cut, just little trims here and there. What can I say? These guys have become friends and mentors, and guys I can go to for advice, and they're awesome.
And their mutual admiration for Bob.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's like beyond.
Yeah, I mean, he's. What can you say? The guy's like an impish spirit.
He's a wonderful man.
I put out a tweet today about. Did you see that?
No.
Oh.
Which one? I wonder if I did see it. What is
the
it?
Where Bob LOL'd.
No.
Oh, I put out a tweet about our interview. After the interview, I said, I had them on, blah blah blah. And then Indie Mac user said, I can't wait to hear about whatever he said. And then I was like, oh my God, you'll hear me. I said, I geek out like a tween, or I carry on like a tween when they talk about Kevin in the brunch.
Yeah.
And he retweeted that. He quote retweeted it with a big LOL.
Who did?
Bob.
Bob Hawk.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, you just made my day.
I love Bob Hawk.
Yeah. So that was a great
Love you,
moment.
Bob. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
God, he's like all over the place.
Yeah, he's a busy
he's
guy.
Like a traveling man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you hear the interview, like at one point, I'm like, wait a minute, where are you guys?
I know.
Because they confused me. I'm like, are you guys in California now, waiting for Bob? What's going on? So yeah.
No, Bob's traveling, and they're there.
He's very traveling. Yeah, he's a traveling man.
Bob's traveling around for his movie.
The other thing that was interesting, I talk about. Okay, I asked JJ about doing the film festival circuit and the traveling and all that, and I guess JJ had maybe expressed some trepidation, or I don't know what the conversation was. But here's the thing. Here's how I gleaned this. On FatMan on Batman, there's a show where he interviews the guy who did Death of Superman Lives documentary. And there's a point at which he said, I've been talking to a lot of documentary filmmakers about doing, and sort of saying, but that's what you got to do. You got to go out there and do the grind.
You do.
And I don't know what it was, but just the way Kevin was talking, I'm like, why do I have a feeling that's JJ and Ty?
Yeah.
Why do I have a feeling? And I asked him about it, and it was.
It was.
Yes.
Oh, so he was talking about that.
But, all vague. I don't know the details of what was
Well,
said.
that's okay, though.
I just got this vibe. So.
Yeah, that's cool, though.
So, guys, if you're listening, that's where I heard the allusion to your conversation. It was from a FatMan on Batman with the director of The Death of Superman Lives. Another documentary featuring Kevin.
Which was recent, right? Within the month? Or maybe like a few months ago?
That's very much in this month.
Okay. Yeah.
Lots of Kevin news. Kevin's is moving forward with not yoga hosers. Moose Jaws, yes.
Yep. He's going to be
Yoga Hosers comes out when? Fall?
It seems like the fall.
Yeah.
Because why did I hear it from
Because he was talking about it on Hollywood Babylon too.
Okay. And then James on Twitter tweeted it out.
Which James?
The gentleman who's close to them, who goes to Babylon on Fridays. The guy that...
yeah. Big Daddy Jimmy V?
Big Daddy Jimmy V. Sorry.
You don't know Big Daddy Jimmy V?
I know, but I was calling him by his first name. Big Daddy Jimmy V. I'm sorry. James. That's his name. Right?
Gotcha. Yes.
That's where I saw it first.
There you go. Shout out Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. We will be meeting you soon, sir.
Yes. And hey, actually, speaking of meeting people, Steve or also known as
Steve the Knight.
Midnight Smoke.
Oh, Midnight Smoke.
Steve the Knight. Isn't that what got?
Steve the Knight. I didn't know it was in. I looked at the picture. I'm like,
he's
wait
also
a minute,
on also on the Mr. BS show now
Yeah.
as a full-time member. Yeah, I'll be going up to Toronto,
You're going to Toronto.
We're going up to Toronto, to film with a Mr. Scott Thompson.
How come you brought up Midnight Smoke?
Well, he's up in Buffalo area.
I know,
so
and
he says
that's...
he's like an hour or two away. So
Mhm.
he's saying,
But
"Oh, come
now
up and say hey."
that was one of my things. I almost had you fly into Buffalo and drive down to Toronto because you could. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to fly, right?
Ain't that cheap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
it
now
is.
rent a car. What am I doing then?
Yeah, but you know what?
All right, let's not get too into our travel details.
So you're
no
going to
one's
be doing
no one's
that.
concerned about the
April Fool's Day. You'll be flying into Toronto.
Oh, you have to get the date. Now the fucking someone would be
You can
gunning
take it
for
off.
me.
You can take it off.
It's all right. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes. So
And you'll
yeah,
be- yeah.
And what I am totally thrilled about, and I don't know why this is or how this happens, but when you told me that Scott Thompson apparently travels or is maybe I don't know if it's his head writer or his manservant or his,
but that's what he is. He's a writer.
oh, so it's like his
Yes.
joke, right? Is Paul Bellini? I'm like,
Paul Bellini. Oh my God, he has
can I
to-
touch Paul Bellini? Do I get to touch Paul Bellini?
I don't know if he wears the towel.
Oh,
That's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
br-
a
I don't
different
care.
kind of look.
I don't care. I'm bringing a salad fork.
That's so funny. You have to bring a fork with
God.
you.
I can't wait.
That
And
was one of my
that's
questions.
the selfie I want, man. Fucking.
Listen, that was one of my questions to his assistant when I made them, like, is Paul Bellini. So he answered it. He's like, yes to this, and yes, Paul will be there.
Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to.
I
I don't know who I'm more psyched about, Scott or Paul Bellini. Now.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for Scott Thompson.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. We were watching some old reruns and he was brilliant, man.
He
Brilliant.
is.
On that show. The show.
Yeah, he's great.
Yes.
He's
Hello.
great. Hello,
Canada. That's what I'll be saying soon. Hello, Canada. You got your Canadoos, you got your Canadotes. Sorry.
It's so great.
That's what I think every time. Like so our Canadian connections are none other than Jody Simpson and Dave Mader.
And Dave Mader, and you're like
shout out to those guys and their
podcast.
podcast, which is God, I see the thing. It's Trivial Debates. I want to say Trivial Pursuit, but it's not
Trivial Debates.
Trivial Debates. Trivial. I can't say it.
Trivial
Debates.
Why can't you say trivial?
I don't know.
Trivial Debates.
I can. I was just stumbling over it for some reason.
Trivial Debates.
Yeah, so check out their show. But there are Canadian connections, so I've been, working with them.
Yeah.
Keeping them posted. But now
It's firm now.
It's all firm. We're all rocking and rolling, and those guys are my Canadian connection. So
Yeah, it's very cool. They're going to be very good to you.
yes, and special thank yous that are going in the films. for
Yes,
these guys.
absolutely.
So yes. What else is going on?
What else? This weekend,
Tons of Kevin news,
we're
but
gonna
I feel like
see Jiggy,
if you call, yes, we're going to see Jiggy.
the comedy.
We're going to film
New York Comedy Club.
We're finally going to film the interview portion of
Yes.
our time with Jiggy,
Yes.
even though John won't be there. And we're probably going to film more of Jiggy. We're going to film his one-man show, which will be interesting.
Yes, John will be, because I did ask him about that.
What is it? What is it? 50 first dates? No.
50 first
0
dates, no
second-
seconds.
0
There's
second
0
dates.
seconds. But
I like the title.
I do too. But I look at him, I'm like, how can he not
Yeah,
get a second date?
yeah,
He's so flippin'
it's
cute.
comedy stylings.
He's so cute. But John, who is also another cutie, I don't know when they're going to be doing it, but in
So
the
John's more
near, yeah, in the near future, they're going to be doing a podcast together, so we'll be able to interview him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, John is like the.
And then there's a lot of stuff going on this
Yes.
month. Sorry. So
This month.
busy movie stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be reeling this sucker in. I want to bring this sucker in for a landing, but you know what? Bob Hawke was the only one who called it very early on. Like, we're like, 6 months. He's like, you'll be filming 1.5 years from now.
Oh, Bob. No truer words have been spoken.
Yeah, he's fucking right. I curse him for that one. But he's right. And And
he only says it from experience.
I think it ends up on the interview. There's a point where I go, is there a point where you guys feel like this is going on too long? He's like, yeah, wait till you get to editing. Wait till you get to post-production. I'm like, I'm kind of living there now.
But we're not, but we're doing it.
And
all
folks,
for you guys.
Folks out there, I don't want to sound like I'm whining or crying. When you hear me whine and cry, here's why. Sort of the longer it takes, think of it this way. Like, the business is what it is, but hey, we could have a steady income. 2 steady incomes would could dig us out of a hole real quick.
Yes.
So the longer we go without, which is what we didn't sort of anticipate, the more we have to stretch, and it just gets rough on us. So if we bitch, that's what we're bitching about. That's where it's all coming from.
Right. We just want it to happen quicker.
Yeah.
And we're trying to do that. And if anybody would like to, you can go to whatsapodcast.movie.com.
And you can,
And if you'd like
actually, you can go to ThatMan on FatMan.com.
ThatMan.com.
Because all these accounts are linked to the same place.
And you
can just donate.
If you'd like to donate, or you know somebody
you
that wants to donate.
You don't have to wait for any special thing.
And just...
We also have the Patreon thing you can do.
Right.
But that's more of an ongoing.
Yes. But if you'd like to give to the movie, it would be great because we could use it.
Also, we are going to be doing a Bandcamp thing very soon. We're going to drop some tracks very cheap. We figure it's a nice way so you can buy some of the more classic cuts that we've put out, like the theme song and some of the closers, some old Prozac tunes that we use very frequently and enjoy. We're going to put them out there so that we can... It's a nice way to raise money for the film, but yet you guys get something for it.
Yeah.
We're taking a page out of Kevin Andy's book, only no meows needed. So, it's another way for you to help us out, should you choose to. And more details on that next week when we get it all up and running. We started getting it going, but we're not quite there yet. I want nice cuts.
What is that called? Meowtalica?
Yes, Meowtalica.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
he's such a
really
genius.
Yes.
I wonder how many downloads he got. So many, I'm sure. And then it was so funny when they were talking about how they could get it for free. And then Kevin's like, for those who got it free, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
All right.
So
let's get to Tesdy Groupie, because
Okay.
she's got
Groupie.
She's got her pick of the week today. So here comes Tesdy Groupie, pick of the week. ThatMan on FatMan presents At Tesdy Groupies. Tell 'em Steve Dave, pick of the week.
Hi, and welcome to the TSD Pick of the Week. Last week it was Scott and Jean's second pod anniversary. Congrats on a great episode. And besides it, it was Tell 'em Steve Dave's 60th birthday. And when you think about the life expectancy some insiders thought he would have, Walt, a real accomplishment. There have been ups and downs, and though consistency may not be one of their strongest suits, we can always count on them when it comes to laughs, interesting topics, and awesome games and quotes. And though there may have been awesome celebration episodes, let's go another route. A favorite guest returns with a controversial theme episode, one that you have surely repeated several times. Okay, let's not beat around the bush anymore, and let's go to this week's pick. TSD 138, My Sweet Satan. We can hear the overkill theme in the beginning of this episode, that Walt is willing to call the Black Mass Edition. Because even though the episode starts with celebrity friends talk, Walt reveals the topic of its episode. Satan. Okay, he doesn't call him that at first. And a special guest, Dave Windorf from Monster Magnet. And different related topics are discussed. If the guys fit the requirements to be Satanists, demonic songs, and whether or not all this is just to fuck goth chicks. Mixed with less satanic topics. Even hearing Dear Sarge's theme for Fat News. By the way, if you don't know what Overkill is all about, just go to tellemsteveday.bandcamp.com and get the Overkill episodes and find all about it. So, I hope you re-listen to it, I hope you enjoy it, and you all the way.
And there you have Miss Testy Groupie's Pick of the Week. And we hope you enjoyed this very special first show of Season 3 kickoff. I'm just glad that we can go back to lower numbers. It's easier to keep track. I like this whole season thing.
I do too.
Otherwise, we have to remember it's like show 174.
Oh, I know.
So, all right. Well, I know that next week we have a special guest, someone very cool and very, very important to this show. That is Kane.
Kane from Death Wish.
Kane from Death Wish. So look forward to hearing about how a little coffee company became
I know.
picked to be in have a commercial in the Super Bowl.
And like blowing up big time.
Yeah, blowing up. Well, I can see where they're blowing up big time because the coffee's fucking awesome.
Coffee's amazing.
So, but yeah. So.
And their mugs and everything that they have is
I
really
get it.
cool. I get
Yeah.
it. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Simple.
It's like, you just look at it and you're like, oh yeah.
So we'll
That's
drill into whose aesthetics were you, who's the marketing genius, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yes, and I want to find out how they're affiliated with Zach Wilde as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he will tell you.
Yes, so that's next week, among other stuff, and we got a lot of stuff coming up. We're trying to get back on the ball with the show, and we got some good stuff coming up. We have a musical show coming up as well. Those pieces are coming into place. I'm not gonna give firm dates until I have it in the can anymore. I've learned my lesson. Too many times I've made promises for shows that didn't happen. Not happen.
Well, plans change.
Yeah, I got it. So, but if I don't commit, then it's work. I have a fear of commitment in our third season. All right, guys. Thank you very much for sticking with us.
We miss you guys.
We hope you enjoy this beginning of season 3. There will be video content because we did film a little of this. It's just a static shot, but hey. All right. You're smart and you're good. Enjoy.
Hi, guys.
Yourselves. Smart and goody people. Guten Tag. Zigaretten. Auf was am Mieten. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, and also I want to say, fuck YouTube for removing the option for creators to use fucking fair use. That's such bullshit. A big, huge fuck you to YouTube. Fix your shit. That is 100% legal. Stop kowtowing and sucking corporate cock, you fuckers.
Wow.
Thank you. See you next week.
Smiling, praying for some faith. Thoughts of Bursting flowers into bloom, there's no such thing as time. Powers from our Mother Earth will blow us to our knees. Twisting, turning, minds are burning, join us if you please. And now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Powers from our Mother Earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls to bind as one. Come join us if you please. If you please. If you please. If you please.
Go get him, that man.